$10 top prize. So I'm learning to enjoy rich people stuff.
Okay, let me try. Gross. What's next?
Ballroom dancing.
I'll lead.
New Supreme 7s, a shot at supreme riches. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money, your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Welcoming you back to appointment day at the Martinez house. Raul Martinez looking stressed about scheduling a colon cancer screening, but he just pledged to get screened.
Stand Up to Cancer and Optum want to help you reduce your risk for cancer. Visit takeahealthystand.org.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBrian.com. That's GotBrian.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
This is the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
While I'm watching Colombia, Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
Yeah, a horrible, horrible look. But that was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that. It's the Adam Gold Show. How you doing? Welcome to Friday. It appears to be raining here in the Triangle.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what that is.
No amount of rain can take our Friday away.
There you go. I don't remember hearing that last week.
I know you weren't here last week.
We didn't have a Friday last week.
I was
That's
here,
why.
but
That's right.
You
Yes,
were here last Friday. But I still said it,
Did
just
you
for you.
Say it during the best of?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd come in here just to say, it's Friday.
Very nice. Very nice. So welcome to it. Hope everybody's got huge weekend. People ask me, did you have a good did you have a good Fourth?
Right.
This is not against. I have nothing against the Fourth. If you're a dog owner,
oh yeah,
fireworks not your thing, right?
Biff's not a fan.
Yeah, because the dogs don't like it.
Nah.
Heck, Earl, much more so than Harriet. Earl doesn't like thunder.
Yeah, he does. Biff doesn't like thunder either, which it did all of that this past weekend.
Yes. Anyway, but it's too hot to move.
It is too hot to move.
So I didn't do anything this week. We did nothing.
Yeah.
All weekend long.
No.
Zero.
We tried to have an NCFC game, which they eventually did this Saturday, but, the bottom fell out multiple times beforehand.
So I think we mostly stayed inside and watched, soccer on television.
Yeah.
That's really what we did. But I wanted to say, yeah, I had a great weekend. That's what I did. So if that qualifies a great weekend, then it does. But we should get outside. It's actually not gross out in the state of North Carolina today. All right, we got a lot of things to do. We're going to talk about that NCAA loss, and I'll use air quotes because there are some elements of Johnson versus the NCAA where you could argue, and we'll talk to somebody who will argue, that it wasn't all bad for the NCAA, or at least the way it's going to play out won't be all bad for the NC2A. So this is about whether or not athletes can be considered employees. We have discussed this issue before, and before I get into it, because I'll make this part of our let's get started. Before we do that, let us just say RIP to Monte Kiffin, who was for a short period of time an NC State head coach, but also one of the best defensive coordinators in the history of the NFL. He invented the Tampa 2 defense that helped Tony Dungy win a Super Bowl. Well, I guess he won that with Indianapolis, but Dungy built that defense in Tampa before he went to the Colts and John Gruden went from the Raiders to the Buccaneers and won the Super Bowl. Anyway, Kiffin was just a legend.
Yeah.
So he passed away, I think, 84 years old. Lane Kiffin, obviously the head coach at Ole Miss. His son has carried on the family legacy. Nepotism doesn't exist. Don't worry about it, people.
No, we're good.
So
it's not a thing.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Eventually, if you're good, you're good. If you're not, you're not. But he passed away yesterday, so R.I.P. Now, let's go. And let me just spend 2 minutes on this decision, Johnson versus the NCAA, which does open the door. I mean, it wasn't a decision as much as it was kicking it back down to a lower court. But it does open the door for athletes to be considered employees because they are. Right? I'll just take you back to, I guess it was the Alston case when the Supreme Court voted 9-0. Yeah, 9-0. I don't know how often that happens. I don't feel like it happens very often, 9-0.
No, not so much.
But 9-0, basically telling the NCAA, what kind of racket are you people running? In fact, Brett Kavanaugh, in a concurring opinion, said about the NCAA, I can't believe you've been getting away with this for this many years. So, none of this kind of sounds like a positive for the NCAA, but Matt Brown from Extra Points is going to join us at the bottom of the hour, and we'll get into maybe the way it's going to play out, how it does maybe positively help the NCAA. But let's just talk about the fact that regardless of what the courts are going to say, the athletes who go to schools to play football, men's basketball, the sports that generate revenue for the schools, football, men's basketball, in some cases women's basketball, not at all, in some cases baseball, not in all, but no other sports really generate revenue. They certainly don't pay for the sport. But in the sports that do produce revenue, those athletes absolutely are employees. They have obligations, they have time constraints, they have restrictions, everything that we have as employees of a company. And because they do help to earn significant amounts of money for their institutions, they are employees. And this is going to, if it gets to this point, if the NCAA doesn't get a waiver, like if there isn't a law passed on Capitol Hill to exempt schools or exempt these athletes from being declared employees, well, they're going to ultimately unionize. I'm here for that. I think the athletes should be paid. How much? That's up to collective bargaining. And that is, I think, a fair system. But that doesn't mean that all the sports should be treated the same way. And we've been talking about this as well, that maybe there needs to be a different deal for kind of every sport, right? Maybe there just needs to be a different deal for every sport. Some sports, there won't be money, paid to the athletes. But look, we're entering a totally different world when it comes to how athletes are compensated by schools. And let's be honest, a scholarship is absolute black and white terms, compensation. Don't ever say that you're getting a free, don't ever think that it's correct when you say these athletes are getting a free education. That is incorrect.
No.
They are getting the education if they are allowed to become educated, because we are smarter than that. We understand that not all athletes are allowed to be educated. They are kept eligible, which are two different things. But don't think that that is not compensation. That is compensation. Is that enough of a compensation? Again, arguable points. But the world is changing with regards to college athletics. The number one reason for that is the amount of money college athletics brings in. If it wasn't a multi-billion-dollar entity, if we were rolling along like we were in the 70s, well then, it's a different time. It's all amateur. But it's not. And now we have name, image, and likeness, and at some point, maybe we'll break through that Rubicon and athletes will be allowed to get prize money when they win this lawsuit, because I think they're going to win this lawsuit, this class action suit. You can get prize money from a pro event because there ain't no difference between NIL and prize money. Sorry, you're still getting paid to play the sport. It's third party, right? What's the difference? So everything is going to change, but we'll talk about this with Matt Brown at the bottom of the hour. So I saw this, and I found this to be somewhat disingenuous. I was watching ESPN. They pose their questions on First Take. Joe Burrow supports an 18-game season. And I think that's sort of inaccurate to phrase it that way, because I don't know that Joe Burrow supports an 18-game season. I don't know that any football player, any NFL football player says, hell yeah, let's go to 18. I do think that there are a pretty sizable number, I don't think it's majority, it's probably around 30 to 40%, that are, well, it's going to happen anyway, so here's the best way to do it. And I think Joe Burrow falls into that category, because it does appear in inevitability that the NFL will have 18 games. So what's the best way to do it so as to make it best for the players? Again, I'm going to refrain from clowning the commissioner here, because when he talks about it in such false equivalencies and disingenuous terms. So let's just assume that it's going to happen. This is what Joe Burrow is talking about. How to get the 18-game schedule to where the players get a real benefit of it and not just an extra paycheck. Not saying that that's not a benefit. That would be. Frankly, they should get more than just an extra paycheck, but that's another story altogether. But how do we get to that point where this is actually not damaging any more than it already will be to the players? And Joe Burrow simply said, second bye week. Okay, yeah. Again, I'm not sure what a bye week accomplishes other than it gives you a week off, which is great.
Yeah.
But if you're suffering with an injury,
it's just extending things.
Yeah, you're simply exposing yourself for another game. I've heard one, and this has some merit, but it's easily poked holes in. Well, maybe players should only be allowed to play 16 of the 18 games. Interesting. Yeah. Tell a team, I'm sorry, you can't use, tell the Chiefs, you can't use Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes in week 18 or in game 18 because they've already played 16. But we need to make the playoffs.
Right.
Sorry. So,
whoops.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. I don't think you could do it. But, hey, I appreciate just trying to come up with some way to make it amenable and to make it less damaging for players. Ultimately, we're going to go to 18. We don't have to get into the reasons why. I think we all know we're going to end up at 18. And if you are a fan or a fantasy football league player, you don't hate it because it's not your body and it's fun to play fantasy football, or it's fun to gamble on football, or, this is going to sound weird, it's just fun to watch football.
There's that too.
Just to watch it.
You're right.
So, as a consumer of the product, as somebody who's, is a fantasy football player, yeah, it'll be great for you. It might not be as great for the players who have to put their bodies on the line for an additional game. Now, and it would extend the season by 2 weeks, not one, but I just don't see how they do 18 games without 2 bye weeks. But when do we start the season? When do we end the season? We'll be blowing through President's Day.
Oh, yeah, way past.
We'll be blowing through President's Day.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, yeah. Super Bowl will be on Valentine's Day.
Whatever. Yeah, the Ides of March will be, that's when the Super Bowl will be. All right, I have a baseball topic I want to bring up. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, right? One of my bets.
Yeah.
Right? Paul Skenes, dynamite pitcher for the Pirates.
Right.
I mean, he was announced today as the starter for the National League in the All-Star game. He's made only 11 starts, but he made the All-Star team. Last week, his manager, I don't even know the name of the manager of the Pirates, the manager of the Pirates, they had their meeting in the locker room, and he announces that Paul Skenes had made the All-Star team, and that's great. So me, genius, galaxy brain, said, he's going to get bombed in the first inning. So I took Milwaukee plus 390 to lead after 1. 7 innings later, Milwaukee has 0 hits, no hits. Skenes has struck out 11.
Oh, boy.
He has thrown 99 pitches, and he comes out of the game with a no-hitter in the 7th after 7 innings. He comes out of the game because we're protecting him. Okay. This is a problem with modern analytical big league baseball. Baseball has an analytics problem on top of the fact that analytics do tell us a lot about the games, and analytics help teams prepare and theoretically win. But it also hurts the product because the reliance on analytics has given us, it's the 3 true outcomes. It's strikeouts. Strikeouts are better than double plays. Who cares if you strike out 190 times? Walks. Oh, walks are great. Walks is good at hit. As good as a hit as he stumbles. Actually, it's not. Hits are better than walks. Home runs are great.
Yep.
We got Lon Chang going, and everybody's trying to hit home runs. And when you're trying to hit home runs, you're striking out more. Blah, blah, blah. So it slowed the game down. It became a game of just home runs and strikeouts. Pitchers are throwing harder than ever, blah, blah, blah. Just bookmark harder than ever.
Yes.
That the pitchers are throwing.
That's why there's more injuries.
There you go. You read the last page. So Paul Skenes, who has been on a pitch restriction for much of the season, it's actually the second time this season as a rookie he has gone at least 6 innings without allowing a hit and was removed. I can't stress enough, he had thrown 100 pitches through 6 innings that time. Maybe a little bit more justifiable, but not really. Right? The game is still about entertaining your customers. It's not I'm not saying it's the most important thing, but it's
a big factor.
Super important.
Yeah.
And as Major League Baseball, as we get further and further along, and we watch the WNBA highlight their star players and take eyeballs away from baseball in the summer where there's nothing else going on. What have we talked about? I've talked about not the same Hurricanes thing. I've tried to give a little spin on the Hurricanes every single day we talk about it. We haven't talked about it yet. There's nothing new from yesterday, so I'm going to leave it alone.
Right.
Or we've talked European football championships or Copa America, or I talk about golf because I love it. A little bit about tennis, not that much. It's not as much going on right now.
Nope, not a lot.
So it would be great if we talk more baseball. The All-Star game is next week, right? The Braves, I think they'll be fine. They haven't been great. They've been basically a 500 team since a really good start. The Yankees are going into the toilet.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes me happy. I should be talking about this more.
Yeah,
I should be reveling in Yankee misery.
Keep spending money, Yankees.
Right? I should be reveling in this. We don't talk a lot about baseball, but
my Cubs swept a team finally, the Orioles.
Swept the Orioles?
Yes, they did.
Wow.
Still finished it off yesterday.
My other wager definitely didn't win because it was a parlay with a home run and the Orioles winning. Good. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't actually use my app. Yeah, I didn't use my app for either. So it's a good day. Good day to get them both famously wrong. So Paul Skenes should be a bona fide superstar right now, but most people don't know who he is. I would submit that most people know who his girlfriend is more than they know who he is.
Oh.
Do you know who Paul Skenes' girlfriend is?
I do not.
Livy Dunn, the gymnast from LSU, who is an Instagram, sensation and way wealthier, even as a college student right now, than Paul Skenes is heading to the All-Star game.
Instagram influencer.
Oh, she is. Well, she's got all sorts of endorsements.
Yeah.
She's going to go back to LSU for her 5th year. I don't even know if she's a good gymnast. I legitimately do not know.
Yeah.
But I know who she is because she's all over television or she's all over social media. That's fine. That is our world today.
It is.
Influencers on social media get all sorts of look. There are YouTubers that making so you just sit
money.
around and play video games. Really?
Or TikToks.
What a freaking life!
Yeah,
that is amazing.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
for you.
Oh yeah.
I harbor no ill will. Just this is the world we live in.
Yeah.
So, but we should all know who Paul Skenes is, and we don't.
Nah.
Right? He might have 2 no-hitters already. Odds are he probably wouldn't, but he might. And this one really bothered me and a lot of other people because through 7 innings, he had thrown 99 pitches, and they automatically pull him out. So here's my question. If there's zero empirical data that tells us that numbers of pitches thrown has, there's no data that tells us that it has a correlation to elbow injuries, right? To Tommy John. 0. What are we doing?
Yeah.
He's been efficient if he throws 2 more innings at about 12 pitches per inning. That's not an insane number of pitches.
No.
It just isn't. The real reason we have elbow injuries is guys throwing too hard.
Yeah.
So if we're really afraid of elbow injuries, dial them back. But that's not how it works anymore.
No.
We're going to throw as hard as possible for as long as possible and hope that nobody gets hurt.
And back in the day, pitchers used to want to stay in the game so they could have a perfect game.
Oh, no question about it.
But now.
Like you couldn't get a pitcher out of a game if he had a no-hitter.
No.
You could not get a pitcher out of a game if he had a no-hitter. And now, this kid, in 11 big league starts, has done it twice.
Right.
Twice. But it ain't up to him.
No.
We're protecting you. If you really want to protect him, you'll tell him not to throw so hard every single pitch. Hey, it's cool to know that it's always there, that if I need 100, I've got it.
Yeah.
But by and large, it is, and this has been there's far more data that proves pitch counts are like, I get innings and pitch counts kind of go together, but the truth is that we have more Tommy John injuries today than we used to, and back in the day we weren't as concerned with numbers of pitches thrown or numbers of innings thrown. That, by the way, is more damaging to the shoulder than the elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Skenes should be a star, a superstar already around big league baseball.
Well, that's why you learn the different techniques, like curveballs and ground balls. You make it interesting so they don't know what you're doing.
Change-ups.
Fast, yeah.
Throw change-ups. You learn how to hit a batter in the ribs to move him off the plate.
I'll just hit you in the face so you won't see it coming now.
Exactly. That's what we need. All right, I've just completely babbled through the entire first part of the show. We've got a lot of stuff to do today. Coming up at 1 o'clock, you will hear from your former quarterback, Cam Newton, who talked with Draymond Green about a number of things. You'll hear that coming up. Also, Charles Barkley reiterates that when TNT is out of it, and I don't think they're officially out of it yet, Barkley will be done broadcasting after next year. When we come back, though, the NCAA lost, but maybe won. We'll talk about it next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
They're still making moves. What I want to decide is if it's busy just to stay busy, just like we're doing something about it. We know something has to happen, so we're working hard. You look in the ant farm, you want to see people walking in lines following each other, right? You want to see work being done. Or if this is actually how they plan on solving the issue.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Let me talk to those of you who are contact lens wearers. Are you tired of wasting time and money every day, putting them in, taking them out, cleaning, ordering new ones, glasses, prescription sunglasses? I could go on and on. Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK are your answers to my question. In just 5 minutes per eye, Dr. Lori can put you on the path to 20/20 vision. Plus, it's totally painless. You can go back to work the next day. And 2 years, 0 interest financing is available. And we're throwing in $1,000 off. Now the hard part. You actually have to pick up the phone. 919-510-6830. Make the call now. The consultation is free. You could go online, traverslasik.com, but you can call 919-510-6830, 919-510-6830. Go to 20/20 vision in less than 10 minutes. Dr. Lori Travers, Travers LASIK. See what you've been missing.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best riders tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to PNC Arena July 27th and 28th. Brought to you by BKT Tires and Great Clips. Visit monsterjam.com today.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go.
the company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Sometimes your phone breaks.
Ugh.
Dude.
What the?
Oh, seriously? Hey, life happens. But at Verizon, we got you. Trade in any phone from our top brands in any condition and get a great deal on iPhone 15 with an unlimited Ultimate plan. And turn...
No!
Into... Oh, yeah! Only on Verizon.
This is Adam Gold.
Please let the coach and GM pick this year.
Right.
And they put this on the sign outside of the restaurant, and I guess David Tepper actually went inside this restaurant.
Do you know that there is security video of that visit?
Wow.
The Adam Gold Show.
So the college football video game is all the rage, and I frankly don't really care. We might get to some elements of, like, the idea, but we're talking with Matt Brown from Extra Points, at Matt Brown EP, and there was a decision yesterday handed down by, I guess it was a district court judge, and I might have that wrong, in the Johnson versus the NCAA case, that on the surface feels like a major loss in a long line of major losses for the NCAA. But Matt Brown, in his newsletter today, kind of intimates that it might not be such a loss. So, Matt Brown, why isn't it such a loss when they're basically telling the NCAA that you're treating all these kids like employees?
Well, I mean, to be fair, the ruling didn't exactly say that. The most recent ruling in Johnson said, hey, we need a slightly different employment case test for college athletes. We got to send this back down to the lower court to reevaluate this because maybe not every athlete should be treated the same. But they did, refuse to dismiss the case and made it pretty explicit. Hey, we think that athletes should be able to bring lawsuits saying that they should be classified as employees. We think that there's a potential for that to be the case here. The reason that even though the bulk of the text is pretty sympathetic to the plaintiffs and very skeptical of the concept of amateurism, skeptical of the concept of a student athlete, is because by sending it back, this litigation, the timetable is going to be extended.
Right.
This took a year and a half to even get to this point. The case is probably now another year and a half from being completely finished, knowing that there's going to be appeals. And what the judges are sort of saying, and what the NCAA and Power Conference commissioners have really been saying for the past several years is these are issues that we need Congress to address. The longer the courts take to address any of these issues, the better the chances are, legitimately, that a legislative solution will be possible for the NCAA and Power Conferences.
Matt Brown is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, Extra Points, the newsletter. This is how I've been following this story. I've been critical of the NCAA and the major conferences for relying on people who are not inclined to ever help them because, frankly, they haven't really gotten any help from Capitol Hill or K Street. All the lobbying they're doing is really just wasted time and wasted money. Why will this time be any different?
Well, the difference is that we're not going to have the same Congress in a couple of months.
Right.
The NCAA's lobbying efforts here over the last couple of years have happened mostly in divided government, where it's not just, Democrats control the Senate and the White House, Republicans control the House, but the majorities in both of those houses are tiny. Making it very difficult to build some kind of legislative coalition over an issue that doesn't neatly fall under partisan lines, is very technical, and is not something that is a major priority for very many lawmakers. But here's the thing. If we are just looking at the Cook political report projections of how, and the current polling of how things are going. And I'm not making a value judgment here one way or the other.
I get it.
What is the most likely outcome from this election is that Donald Trump wins, Republicans take somewhere between 53 and 55 Senate seats, and they increase their majority in the House. And when that happens, given Republican dominance throughout the federal court system right now, it becomes much easier for someone like Ted Cruz, who has proposed legislation that essentially solves these NCAA labor problems, to get that kind of stuff passed. The lawmakers who are most sympathetic to the NCAA's calls for a ban on athlete-employee classification are Republicans. And if they get unified legislative and executive control, suddenly it's such a pipe dream anymore.
There are college football fans all over the state of North Carolina right now that just changed party affiliation. I would submit only this, being also somebody who consumes news, that just because one party has all three, both houses and the executive branch, doesn't mean they're going to pass anything, because not a lot got passed in the first part of the Trump administration the first time, and they had all three branches. They did get one major piece of legislation passed, but they didn't do anything else. It was kind of gridlock. But either way, I think there's something else that you pointed out in the newsletter that I think is the best element of this, and the smartest element, because it's more about common sense. Because to me, it's more about football and men's basketball and maybe women's basketball. The revenue sports should be treated differently than all of the other non-revenue sports. And I think the schools are probably terrified that it won't be.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they do have reason to be terrified, because the original plaintiffs for Johnson were not NC State football players and Duke basketball players. They were FCS football players that are not anywhere close to cash positive generating programs. Dartmouth men's basketball, God bless him, draws fewer fans than most Triangle area basketball teams in high school.
Right.
Let alone college, right? And this is the thing that's been kind of, brought to my attention over the last 7-8 months from talking to people who work in this industry, is there are ways to make Power 4 football, men's and women's basketball athletes employees and keep most of the industry functions going. There's enough money going around. And we're going to see that with this House settlement anyway, and carving off $21+ million in direct payments. There's enough money to go around to make sure everybody gets a comfortable salary. Where you can't make this work is for Elon, or for anybody who runs track or swims. And I think there's good reason for administrators to be like, I don't know if the courts are going to make that distinction if the test that they're using is primarily centered on control, which makes sense, right? You can be an employee of an entity that doesn't make money. Lots of businesses don't make money. You're still an employee.
Right.
This means you're an employee of a crappy business. This is becoming, I think, a little bit more clear in how the judges are realizing maybe we need to use a scalpel here rather than a sledgehammer. A world where you have employment for some, amateurism for others, is probably the most common sense approach. But we'll see if legislators and the judicial system see it the same way.
Matt Brown, extra points. All right, can I just bring it to just introduce a different story here, because I want to get your take on this. There's a UNC tennis player, Reese Bierman, I believe is her name, and she's suing as a class action lawsuit now, suing the NCAA because they won't allow her to accept prize money at professional tennis events, even though she's a tennis player at UNC. She, I think, had to forfeit, $49,000 from advancing. Well, I'm not 100% sure if it was the U.S. Open or not, but regardless, it was a professional event. I have argued that if we're about to start directly paying players, and we allow NIL, I don't see the difference in allowing a tennis player to slap endorsements all over their shirts and their hats or whatever, get paid by Wilson or Yonex, whatever racket they're using, and not take like prize money. I don't see the difference at all. Yeah, prize money is different than endorsement money, but there's still monies earned based on playing in a professional tennis event or a professional golf event. Nick Dunlap at Alabama should have been able to stay in amateur. Should have been able to stay at Alabama. Shouldn't have had to make the choice. He chose it. A lot more money, but is there a definite difference? Something that would divide the two in your eyes?
I mean, if you had asked me that question 12 years ago, I might have said there's a more clear line, but your argument here makes a lot of sense to me. And this is something that's actually been discussed in NCAA circles for the better part of 25 years, about whether you're really drawing this line in the sand is the most beneficial thing here for college athletes, because college athletics is supposed to be about educational attainment, and you want as many people to be able to go to college and participate in stuff as possible, and saying, oh my gosh, you can't get $10,000 if you happen to play out of your mind and win a tournament seems silly, especially because, and to your earlier point, everyone's making money now. Right. I can tell you, but these are conversations that are happening in a couple of other sports. In the college hockey world, a reoccurring conversation has been about potentially expanding NCAA eligibility to hockey players who are playing Canadian high juniors.
Okay.
Which and most of these guys are barely making bus money.
Right.
But it's a little bit of money, and the idea of these guys can't because they got a $200 meal stipend and a bus to Medicine Hat. Can't play, but the left winger on Boston College, who's got a $100,000 deal with a stick company, can. It feels dumb. I honestly, if it were me, I would make this even more expansive. I would even be okay with saying, hey, freshman basketball player at NC State, go pro, go play in Barcelona for a year, and if you decide you're not good enough to play in Europe, come back and still have 2 years eligible in college. Like the clock starts once you enroll.
Right.
And if you want to come back to college, in those 4 years, go for it. If you want to spend 2 of those playing basketball in Greece. And there are administrators who have pitched that same thing. I know golf and tennis, like their governing bodies have to have different rules about this sort of thing, but I don't really see a meaningful difference.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and I've been saying this for a long time, and I know people get kind of annoyed when they go, I've been saying this for a long time, but I have. If you allow athletes in college to earn money, then they actually have a better chance of staying around in college rather than turn pro for financial reasons, which probably, I say probably, definitely, enhances the college product. How much more interesting would college swimming have been had Katie Ledecky stayed in it? Had Michael Phelps ever been in it? Had Michelle Wie ever been in college golf? She went to Stanford and stayed in a dorm, but she couldn't play on the golf team because she was a professional golfer at that point. I just think that they've dug into the collegiate model so far that they've completely lost the plot of what would be good for their own sports.
One of the things I think the challenge is here is in who you talk to. Because if you talk to athletic directors, and if you talk to coaches, and if you talk to people who spend their entire day running and operating in college athletics, I think most of them would legitimately agree with you. But when you talk to university presidents and you talk to university general counsel, and you talk to the people that end up voting on these big picture NCAA committees, one, you have folks who are not nearly as informed about the day-to-day of how everything works, but they also realize that for every inch that we give, we potentially lose grounds to draw a line somewhere else.
Right.
And I think there are so many people who are so steadfast in trying to prevent employment generally that they're afraid to make common sense concessions elsewhere, and that kind of led us into this NIL problem to begin with. I think that's what led the NCAA to, after they lost O'Bannon, to decide to keep appealing and go into Alston and go into the Supreme Court. If they have listened to some of these white papers from the early 90s and late and early 2000s, a lot of these problems could have been headed off. But that's, the hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah, it's or hindsight's 50/50, as Cam Newton once said. All right, final question, and I'm going to go to the video game here. Is there NIL in the video game? There should be.
There is. There's not a whole lot of NIL in the dynasty mode, and I had developers tell me it's because we couldn't code a system for dynasty mode recruiting because what the NIL regulations changed every 3 months.
Right.
So it was impossible to do it. But it's a major part of Road to Glory, which is the mode where you start off as a high school recruit and play through your entire career. I think one of the kind of fun things about NIL there is like you have to decide how much time you want to spend on stuff during the week, right? Do I want to spend time on studying?
Right.
Do I want to spend time on rest and recovery? Do I want to spend time on NIL? And if you become an influencer, if you expand your brand, you might be able to sign NIL deals that give you stat buffs during games, right? You might sign an NIL deal with a massage therapy company that helps you recover from big hits a little bit faster. But there's a push and the pull, right? Because every minute you're spending signing autographs or tweeting is a minute you're not in the playbook. The same push and pull that all of us face here whenever we decide to get on Twitter for our jobs.
That is so funny. Is there a portal?
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, at the end of every season, you can decide at Road to Glory to hit the transfer portal and see who else is interested in you. And this portal is a critical part in recruiting if you're doing a dynasty. You won't be able to build a roster without it.
See, these are the things that I'm interested in, not the realism of the game, not the, actually playing the game. I'm interested in these types of things. Matt Brown, Extra Points, at Matt Brown EP. I thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, my friend. Take care.
A little bit of kind of pre-promoting. In a couple of weeks, because I'm off for about a week next week. Matt's going on vacation. I wonder how many people grew up playing sports games, not just video games. Obviously, a lot of our audience are Madden, players, or you played MLB The Show. I've never been a video gamer, so if I get some of these names wrong, I apologize. But a lot of people play them because they're fun. There's a lot of realism in it. I was more of a board game player, and I loved sports games.
Yeah.
I played them for the statistical realism, not for the visual realism. And we're going to have that, we're going to have a 10, 12-minute conversation about sports games. The games that you liked and all that. I think it should be fun. Plus, what else we can talk about. All right, we'll come back with one-timers, and it was apparently a summer of greatness for the ACC. We'll tell you how great next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
ACT Construction Equipment is proud to be your certified local Takeuchi dealer in Charlotte, Winston-Salem, Asheville, Wilmington, and Myrtle Beach. Takeuchi has long been a world leader in the compact construction industry. Let ACT Construction Equipment help you find the right machine for the job. Our full line of excavators, track loaders, and attachments are designed for low maintenance and high productivity. Stop in today for a demo or visit us online at actce.com. ACT Construction Equipment, your authorized Takeuchi dealer.
The 2024 Atlantic hurricane season is predicted to be among the most active we've ever experienced. Prepare your home now against power outages of all types with a Generac home standby generator from Alternative Power. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, helping protect you and your family. Act now for a free 10-year warranty on a Generac home standby generator. Terms and conditions apply. See more at alternativepower.com. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts.
AARP wants your health, wealth, and happiness to live as long as you do. Join us each week for AARP Without Limits when we meet the people in our state who can provide you with a bit of lift or inspiration to live your happiest life at 50 plus. Learn more about this topic and others each week on AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
From the mountains to the coast, there is tremendous pride in North Carolina agriculture. NC Forever Farms is a program recognizing family farms that are protecting precious working lands vital to the future of agriculture. Through permanent agricultural conservation easements, these NC Forever Farms will always be protected from development. Learn more about preserving family farms through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services by visiting ncadfp.org.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. They are here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4VICTIMS. Are you taking care of someone on Medicare? Navigating Medicare can be overwhelming. You're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help you figure out what steps to take and when. SHIP counselors can answer your questions. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
From the mountains to the coast, 2.5 million North Carolinians are members of an electric cooperative. Every day, this network of 26 electric co-ops is working together with local members like you to power a brighter future through innovative energy technologies, community support, and enhanced grid reliability. Learn more about our brighter future vision at ncelectriccooperatives.com. North Carolina's electric cooperatives, powering a brighter future.
You wouldn't ask your mechanic to help stage your property for an open house. As NC Realtors, we're experts who make buying or selling property easier for you. Using the latest technology and armed with local insights, our Realtors help you find properties you would want to call home. We also know which details make your property more attractive to other buyers. From start to finish, our Realtors know. Find out more at ncrealtorsknow.com.
This is Adam Gold.
While I'm watching Colombia-Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
That was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Hope everything is good in your world. Victoria's here. Lots to do. Nada the Scribe's going to join us next hour. We'll talk USA Hoops. We'll talk a little Angel Reese, who had another double-double last night. You know what the previous record was for consecutive double-doubles in WNBA history?
No.
Is 9.
Oh, okay.
She's going to lap that.
Wow, yeah.
It's just
Good for her.
incredible. They lost, I believe. The Sky did, I think, to the Liberty. Was it?
Maybe.
But she had another double-double. She's amazing. And again, I can't wait for the 20th.
Oh, yeah, me too.
WNBA All-Stars against the Olympic team. I think it's going to be a blast.
I know. I'm excited. I want to see the viewership for that, too. I feel like it's going to be high.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to be massive.
Yeah.
All right. Let's, before we get to our one-timers, Summer of Greatness for the ACC. They have just tweeted this out, and it's worth mentioning. It is the AC 2023-2024. Just says greatness. 7 national titles. It's pretty good. NC State women's cross country. UNC field hockey. Florida State women's soccer. Clemson men's soccer. We are a soccer and lacrosse conference. BC women's lacrosse. Notre Dame men's lacrosse. Virginia swimming and diving. Watch the Olympics. A lot of UVA product there. So that's 7 national titles. 23 total titles since the 21-22 season, so that's 3 years. That's a lot. 11 bowl teams, most of any conference. 2 teams to the Final Four. Men's and women's basketball, NC State both. The NC men's basketball had 3 teams to the Elite 8, 4 teams in the Sweet 16. It was a very, very good year. That doesn't even take into account the fact that 4 ACC teams made it to the College World Series for baseball, and we had a cheese rolling championship.
We did.
It was a summer of greatness.
I know, times 2.
For the ACC. So we're going to hear all about this in Charlotte in 10 days And I pray, and I don't do a lot of that Jim Phillips somehow works in the cheese rolling.
I hope he does too.
I am begging him to do that.
He really needs to. Oh, man. If he had little baby bells, can we have baby bells at the ACC kickoff?
Oh, those are delicious.
They are delicious.
They are delicious.
I would just roll little baby bells everywhere. Go ACC.
A new sponsor.
I know.
A new sponsor. All right, time for one-timers.
Well, speaking of ACC, how about this? So if FSU and Clemson are stuck being with us at the ACC, how much longer do you see this just prolonging the ACC still being a thing until its inevitable demise?
It's so complicated. So many people will try to tell you that the league will be fine even if Clemson and Florida State go on, and it won't. It'll still exist, but it will exist just to kind of fill out the upper portion of Division I in football.
Yeah.
It won't be a factor. So that is honestly, this is what it will be. I wonder how many people remember when the Big East, after the Big East lost in football, when they lost Miami and they lost Virginia Tech to the ACC, when they lost those schools, they were still there.
Yeah.
But they ceased to be a player. So it'll still exist, but it won't exist in the same way.
Oh, okay. Well, moving on to a topic you love to talk about, golf and Rory McIlroy.
My man!
So looking at Rory's history, he's been successful like the week before a major. And so are you thinking maybe to kind of change the tides, he should like sit this one out?
No, he's playing well. He had to play before the Open Championship next week. He's playing the Scottish Open. He's the defending champion. He's 9 under par with 3 holes left to play today, so he's 3 shots off the lead. Rory just kicked the rust off. He's your winner next week. I'm telling you.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, well.
He's your winner next week.
That was my next question. And last but not least, because I think that may be all we have time for. So, as you talked about yesterday, Greg Berhalter is out as the U.S. MNT's head coach. So, who do you think might and or should take his position?
All right, there is apparently somebody who is coaching now in, not sure where, somewhere is coaching now, that he's mostly national team coaches, that he is apparently the front runner. But I'm here to say I want Thierry Henry, just so I get to say Henry for like 2 years. That's what I want.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my man Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary, and I can tell you all about the no closing cost mortgage that I have taken advantage of 11 times at Miller Lending, saving about $50,000 combined in closing costs, because you don't have to pay closing costs when you get a mortgage. The banks just tell you you have to, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about your health, and we are going to talk about beating cancer. Best way to do it, early detection. So it doesn't matter if you feel great or not. Let's make sure that we stay ahead of it. Early detection, prostate cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer for women. Do not be afraid to go to your doctor. Don't wait until you're already worried. Don't wait that long. Go to your doctor and get detected early. That's your best weapon against beating cancer. Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. He invented the no closing cost mortgage in 1987 so you could live a long, prosperous life. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 250-2146.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Jerry Jones would walk away happy if they won a Super Bowl. But is that really his marker of success? Is hoisting the Lombardi Trophy really what Jerry Jones views as a successful season? Or is it his profit margin year to year? I don't know if he's really viewing it as I need to make sure to lock up XYZ players in order for us to be in the best position to compete for a Super Bowl.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
What are you doing? Eating caviar. Yuck. Get this. Supreme 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have the best odds to win $400 with a $4 million top prize. So I'm learning to enjoy rich people stuff.
Okay, let me try. Gross. What's next?
Ballroom dancing.
I'll lead.
New Supreme 7s, a shot at supreme riches. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet. Choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
This is the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
While I'm watching Colombia, Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
Yeah, a horrible, horrible look. But that was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that. It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Victoria producing the program. The summer of soccer continues, and not necessarily in a good way, for the U.S. We obviously know that they got bounced out of Copa America. It crashed out in the group stage, didn't even make the knockout round, let alone advance there. We talked about it beforehand. My opinion is that making it out of the group was the worst that should have happened, and I wouldn't have declared it a good Copa America unless they even won a knockout stage game, which they didn't because they didn't get there. That's the men who are now embarking on a coaching search. We'll see where that ends up. And by the way, why did they even bother trying to, pretending, forget about trying, pretending that Jurgen Klopp would end a 2-month retirement?
Do they not know Jurgen Klopp? I just wanted to say his name.
That's beautiful.
I know nothing about Jurgen Klopp.
Beautiful. Anyway, not going to belabor that point. But the women, right? They have a brand new coach, Emma Hayes, who was the coach at Chelsea, one of the best coaches in the world. She is now the women's national team coach. Remember, they are coming off the World Cup last year, where it was not good, right? They got knocked out early, and they're kind of in transition. But part of the reason why they didn't play so well last year was injuries. They were missing Mallory Swanson and Katerina Macario, two of their most dynamic players. But they were back, and the Olympics are coming up. Katarina Macario not back. She's going to miss the Olympics with a knee injury that unfortunately showed up during training. They're still really good. They're one of the best teams in the world, but advantages are gone, and missing one of your best players is a bummer. There you go. All right, take two. I teased this earlier because we ran out of time before and we really need to play it. I love listening to Cam Newton.
Me too.
I'm that guy who loves
him.
listening to Cam Newton. And by the way, did you see the story? Cam Newton was bummed that he wasn't invited to Christian McCaffrey's wedding.
Whoa, how rude, Christian.
Right? Okay, so, little background. They were teammates, obviously, back in the day. It was early in McCaffrey's career.
Right.
Very early. But they were teammates. And Newton not invited to the wedding. His wedding was in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure it was a lovely place. I have not seen photos.
I have not. But you know he would have shown up fresh. Cam Newton would have come.
Oh, absolutely.
To the
hat.
Everything.
Completely hatted up. So
I know.
Cam he saw the pictures. He's like, man, I couldn't get an invite.
Thanks.
Anyway, McCaffrey, in a video with Greg Olson, basically said, you know what would have made this better? If Cam Newton were here. He said, but Cam hasn't returned my texts for 4 years.
Oh, no.
So, apparently, I have no idea what the issue is. I don't believe there's an issue personally.
Yeah.
But maybe Cam changed his number.
Well,
and Christian didn't have the new one.
Maybe Christian should have streamed him on his YouTube channel and put a comment that way, people can with ours.
Christian has a YouTube channel?
No, Cam.
Cam has a YouTube.
Yeah,
oh, yes.
he's a YouTuber now.
Yes,
so just like people can watch us on YouTube and talk to us, Christian should have went on the stream, typed up a message, and maybe that's how he could have gotten.
4th and 1 is the show that Cam does on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of Cam Newton and Draymond Green getting together. This should be hysterical.
What a dynamic duo.
Holy cow. On Klay Thompson leaving the Warriors.
You already know what we got going on. Draymond Green, ladies and gentlemen. Draymond Green. You're looking like it. But I have to ask. Klay.
Oh, man, Klay, you know what? We did some great stuff together. I was telling someone the other day, we had a great run, 12 years. I'd rather us be remembered as dominant as we were and the champions that we were than trying to just piece it all together and go out limping.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be remembered as the guys who changed the game of basketball, not the guys that held on to it too long.
Okay, that's fair. Now we move on, and is the dynasty over?
The question has to be asked, bro, and I must talk to a person that's inside the source. Is the dynasty dead, bro?
The dynasty is never dead because dynasties don't die. Yeah. Dynasties are made, they live on forever, so it could never be dead.
I mean, are they in Cancun? Maybe
it's a street festival.
Maybe he
That's all I can think of. It's a street festival.
He's in Mexico.
I need a steel drum. All right, I love a good steel drum, by the way. All right, now here's Cam and Draymond Green talking about content creation. A thing that these two guys know a lot about.
Lastly, for me, bro, coming from a person who's using their platform to speak their truth in their own way, obviously you've been able to do that same thing in season, out season, creating unbelievable content. Talk about just athlete-generated content right now, bro.
I think athlete-generated content is the future. You know, when you look at it, everyone always say cut out the middleman. It's not necessarily looking at it, to me, as cutting out the middleman. It's what better story to tell about me than from me. And I think guys have realized that. And I must tell you, I respect what you do. I love your show. One of the things that really piss me off is when people try to take away your legacy and what you've done, the MVP of the NFL, all the things that you did. So I want you to know, brother, get your flowers from here. You're a legend, you're a Hall of Famer, brother, and I appreciate you, my dog.
Hey, listen, we have to link up. We have to create content. Now, I can say now, how crazy it sounds that I'm a YouTuber. Draymond Green.
With a resume.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, find the lie.
I know.
So.
I know.
Well, Draymond spent, was it last offseason or the offseason before, talking about new media. Right? He was on this new media kick. And I get it. The athletes, through whether it's podcasting or YouTubing, like Bryson DeChambeau, he is a prolific YouTube sensation. They can connect directly to fans. Directly. And there is nothing wrong with it. There's a lot more great about it than there is anything wrong with it. It will never take the place of like a general sports media, because what you're never going to get from athletes is anything negative. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying the full stories will be told through legitimate media, outlets, but they serve two completely different purposes. Entirely different purposes. So all of it is good. Could you consume what you want to consume, but all of it is good. I would probably say that the player generated content is probably more fun. Right? That's probably more fun. So if you're just a fan of Cam or Draymond or Damian Lillard, dig in. Bryson DeChambeau, more fun. Go ahead. Have a good time with it. All right, the fallout from the NBA's new TV deals, assuming that TNT, which is really Warner Brothers Discovery, I think it's like listed as WBD. The fallout from that, if they choose not to match, and if they do match, it would be the Amazon package, is that Inside the NBA goes away. I did read a story in which Barkley had considered, well, we could just bring the entire crew, do the show, and sell it to Amazon.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, they could. But Barkley, who was on CNBC, is now like, nope, if it's over, and I'm done.
Really a month ago that you were going to retire after next season no matter what happened. Was that firm? Were you joking? What's the real status of you in terms of broadcasting going forward?
Well, I really feel bad for everybody at TNT, all the people I've been working with for the last 24 years. They're like family to me. And I really hope we match. I honestly, in my heart, I think we have lost the package. That's my honest opinion. But I really hope we get a last-minute reprieve for the people at Turner. But the main reason I was talking about next year being my last year, I wouldn't feel comfortable going to work for another network. It'll be 25 years that I've been working with Turner, and I love everybody at Turner. But at this age, to go over and start over, I don't know if I want to do that.
Is there a certain... we're not going to have a negotiation on television, but you know how these things work. I mean, it's no different than in any other business. People say they don't want to do something, and then they get a nice financial offer, and they change their mind. Is it in part, could financial reasons change your mind?
Hey, if I don't have enough money by now, I'm the biggest idiot fool in the world. And hey, seriously, if I don't have enough money by now, I've been so lucky and blessed. I played in the NBA for 15 years. I've been on television for 24 years. If I don't have enough money by now, I'm the biggest loser in the world.
I love him so much.
I'm a big fan. Sometimes his opinions I don't agree with, but Charles is all about the show.
Yeah. But he's right. If he didn't have money now.
Well, yes. But that doesn't, honestly, I hope.
Yeah.
I sincerely hope, if he ultimately does get brought out of retirement, because whether it's ESPN or NBC or Amazon, if they decide that, we want to throw stupid money at Barkley to be part of our pregame show, or, like, not even kidding, if you're TNT, get Barkley on the hockey set.
Oh, yeah, he's fun there, too.
He loves it. He loves the game. Absolutely loves the game. Get him on set for hockey. Let him still be part of what you do. But I hope that if and when he does resurface after this, that he is not called a hypocrite. I hope that people will recognize that, you know what? Let's just let the guy have fun.
Yeah, it's his life.
I love that show is so good. Anybody can analyze basketball. They're great at it. That show is just so good. A lot of that, of course, is Ernie Johnson. Ernie is dynamite. All right, let's throw in a couple of more things here. Kevin Durant, who did not play the other day when I watched USA-Canada, has a calf injury. I don't know if he's going to play. I think it's either Sunday night or Monday night when the U.S. takes on Australia. And I think I don't know if it's their last tune-up. The Olympic basketball tournament starts in less than 2 weeks. Actually, I think it's 2 weeks from today when the Olympic basketball tournament starts. But the big story before we saw USA-Canada was Cooper Flagg, Kevin Durant, on the incoming Duke freshman.
From watching him on the sideline, he looked like a hell of a player. Somebody who's just going to only get better with more experience. 17 years old, coming in here playing like he's a vet almost. No emotion, just going out there and doing his job, and that's a good sign.
Yes, it is a good sign. All right, one football thing here. And, we probably should start getting into silly football conversations. Who's on the hot seat? Right? Who's on a hot seat? Somebody's on a hot seat.
Somebody.
I think this seat right now is warm that I'm in. So, Chris Canty, unsportsmanlike on ESPN. I think if we were making a list of coaches on the hot seat in the NFL, I think the following guy probably comes up.
I don't think he can. I'm going to say he can't, and the reason why is
this
the
is
odds
Mike
are
McCarthy.
against him. Think about this. The Dallas Cowboys have won 36 regular season games over the last 3 years. No team that has had that amount of winning in a 3-year span hasn't gotten to the conference championship game or better, and the Dallas Cowboys are that team. I look at this team as an organization that's poised to regress, and knowing that you have so many questions around the long-term future of your quarterback, of your head coach, of your number one wide receiver, of your best player, pass rusher Michael Parsons, I don't think that sets itself up for the Dallas Cowboys to be able to have success. I think there's going to be this ominous cloud that's looming over the regular season because all of the questions, and that undermines the head coach. And that's why I think that Jerry Jones is going to pivot in a different direction after 2024.
All right, after 2024. Yeah. Should he have done it after this past year? I don't know. Look, I'm not a Mike McCarthy guy. It'd be easy for me to go, see, they should have fired him. They should have not hired him. They should have hired a better coach. He's a good coach. That's the thing. I've always said that about Mike McCarthy. He's fine. He's fine. There's nothing special about him. He's fine.
Right, he's just meh.
Right? He is an offensive Ron Rivera.
Yes.
That's what I look at him as.
Right.
I thought Ron was a good coach.
I love him. Yeah.
Not a great coach.
Great
good
guy,
coach.
yeah.
Right? But defensive.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's what
Heavy defense.
Mike McCarthy is, an offensive version of Ron Rivera, which if you want to be okay, go for it.
Yeah.
That's what you'll be. You'll be okay. So, but I think Dallas will ultimately move on. It'll be interesting. I'm not sure he's the coach under the biggest microscope, though, this year.
Oh.
Well, Dallas is always under a bigger microscope.
Right.
I'm not sure that Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia
I
isn't
know.
under a bigger microscope.
There's a lot of talk about whether he was going to keep his job at the end of the last season.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. All right, when we come back, USA basketball, adding Derek White as opposed to Jaylen Brown. How do you mesh all of those star players together? And what are the Hornets doing? Nada the Scribe joins us next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's the summer of soccer.
Federski for Capetti. It's stolen away by Hack. Kept alive by Gaines. A shot. He scores!
All the saves.
Polina with brilliant, quick footwork across his 6-yard box to be able to recover and grab the strike from Kubo.
All the goals.
He just sends it back into the area for Swiderski. One touch. He scores!
The Triangle's home for Charlotte FC action. 99.9 The Fan. the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my man, Coach Pete DeRuta, Capital Financial Advisory Group in Apex. He is a retirement planning expert. He can help you retire on your terms. So if you are thinking about retirement, even if you're not ready to retire, but if you're like 28 and you just got into the workforce, let's just say 5 or so years ago, and you're thinking, how long do I have to do this? Well, let's get with Coach Pete DeRuta and make a plan. He can do that, and the earlier you start, the better, and maybe you can retire at 35. Coach Pete DeRuta can help, and he is the expert. He's got best-selling books on the deal, so why not go to somebody who is proven to be able to get you to retirement with everything you need? And if you call right now, 888-843-0013, or text my name, Adam, to 600-700, we're going to get you a total customized retirement plan for you for free. It's a $1,000 value for somebody else. Coach Pete DeRuta, Capital Financial Advisory Group in Apex, 888-843-0013, or text Adam to 600-700 for Coach Pete DeRuta.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bow time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
Hey, Katie. Hi. Let's embark on a performance calibration initiative synthesizing qualitative and quantitative metrics for this past fiscal year.
If Heineken Silver was corporate jargon, it would have all the info you need. None of the annoying gibberish.
What I was trying to say is, you crushed it last year, Katie. Lady, you are getting a big, fat bonus.
Heineken Silver, world-class light beer. Only 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
This is Adam Gold.
Subway Series, Game 2. Mets, Yankees should be fun. Good luck to the Yankees, not at all. The Mets are underdogs at home, plus 110. No respect at all for the team that is playing the best baseball in the month of June.
How McRude.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Hope you're having a good Friday. We got a roundtable coming up at 2:15. Our friend Josh Graham is actually in Baltimore. I think he's in Baltimore for Yankees-Orioles tonight. And our friend Randy Slack. They'll drop by and we'll goof off for 15 or so minutes, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Open Championship and get some of you ready for next week. All right. Right now, USA Basketball still has a game coming up. It's either Sunday night at midnight or Monday at midnight. Gosh, I hope it's Sunday at midnight, although I'm not going to watch it either way. It's too late for me. I'm an old person. Against Australia, but they're getting ready with this Olympic team, and it's awesome. Nada the Scribe, Kanata Edwards, CBS Sports AdamGold.com joins us on the Adam Gold Show. All right, sir. So do this for me. Let's kick out the dream team, which might be the greatest semblance of basketball talent of all time anywhere. How close is this group to that group?
I would put 2008 over this team. Like, if I'm really honest, I would put 2008 over this team because I think 2008, you had prime LeBron, you had prime D Wade, you had a Jason Kidd that was just like that. What like the expiration date it hadn't hit yet, and then like it was you had so much talent. You had Dwight Howard on that team. Like before the back injury, 2008. Like when we start talking about the collections of talent of American basketball, I put 2008 before this team, but this team is still very, very good. It's just that I will put it this way. This team probably has more competition in its way than 2008 ever did, but at the same point, I would take 2008's talent, the collective, where everybody was, over this current team right now.
Yeah, this team is going to earn their gold medal when they get it because there are a lot of good teams. Heck, we saw U.S. didn't play great. I watched the game the other night. I thought USA-Canada was super entertaining. Canada's an NBA team. They should be thinking about, and I'm sure they are, they should be thinking about medaling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think there's, like, if Canada doesn't get at least a bronze, it's a disappointment. This is the best Canadian team that we've probably ever seen in terms of talent. They have everything they need, including the agitator, Dylan Brooks, to do some significant damage when it comes to Olympic time. So I'm kind of like, again, they have one of the top 5 players in the world right now, and it's a very interesting collection because I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure, like, this is one of those years where I'm not sure the U.S. wins this thing and gets the gold, and it might be justifiable. It might be justifiable.
They could lose, right? I'm not suggesting that they can't lose. They could lose. But boy, it's going to take their level will have to drop. I think if they play anything close to a maximum level, they're not losing.
The only thing is, like, France. There's France, Adam.
I know that France
team scares me in terms of what they can do because think about it like this. You have Rudy Gobert that's anchoring the paint.
Right.
And then you have some guy named Victor Wembanyama that's basically the roaming defender off ball, doing everything off ball. And mind you, Rudy Gobert doesn't have to leave the paint at all. Like that's a fairly scary proposition in the half court, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, I just don't know if there's enough. I know they're very good. There's no question about it. It's going to be hard for me to believe that they have enough. I just think they need the U.S. to drop a level in order for them to beat the United States. Anthony Edwards, we're talking with Kanata Edwards here, Nada the Scribe on Twitter. Anthony Edwards declared himself the number 1 option. Right now, he is leading the second unit. If you if you go by Steve Kerr's starting 5 and then the next group he brought in, I don't think it really matters. He was their leading scorer, so he's probably right. But who was it? Bam Adebayo said, we're all the number 1 option.
Well, of course, Bam's going to say that because, again, that's Heat culture. There is no real number 1 option. Like, he's like Bam's right, but at the same time, Anthony Edwards is right because you're going to need those guys, those isolation scorers that'll get it out of the mud, especially since Kevin Durant is injured. Probably won't be back until pool play and everything. And even then, it's going to take him a little bit of time to get up to speed. So, like, I understand that, like, Anthony Edwards is kind of brash and outspoken and everything else like that, but he might have a point, especially if, like, the idea is to save Curry, save LeBron for those key moments. So I get it, but at the same point, I'm not sure I would have said it out loud, but that's Anthony Edwards' piece.
Well, first of all, in using just those 2 players, Anthony Edwards and Bam Adebayo, I think Anthony Edwards is more right than Bam Adebayo because Bam Adebayo is not ever the first option. Maybe on his own team during the year.
I was about to say
maybe
because we don't know how many games Jimmy plays during the regular season,
right?
And we also know that Jimmy sandbags the regular season,
right?
So theoretically, Bam might be the number one option on his own team, but in every other city in the world and every other team in the world, maybe outside of Charlotte, Detroit, yeah, he's not the number one option.
All right, so let me ask you this: put on your Steve Kerr hat. You are 2 minutes to go in the game. Let's say you're playing Canada in the gold medal game. You're 2 minutes to go, and it's tied. Which 5 are on the floor?
Ooh, do I have Kevin Durant available to me?
Yeah, Kevin Durant's healthy.
All right, so we're going probably Steph, Anthony Edwards, Bron, KD, Bam.
Bam over Joel Embiid over Anthony Davis. I'm not arguing. I just okay.
Joel Embiid flops too much, and you saw it against Canada, and it's like, why? It's unnecessary flopping.
Right.
Like that's the thing with Joel. I like Joel, but at the same point, I kind of want the guy that I know. Like between Bam and AD, it's a bigger concern. Like I trust Bam to do the dirty work a little bit more than I do AD. And
right.
I understand, and it goes back to a conversation that me and you have all the time. AD is tall man, not big man.
Correct.
Bam is big man. That's the thing. If you're telling me the guy that I can trust to be the connector at the 5, do all the grimy stuff against the Jokic's, the Goberts of the world, and everything else like that, give me Bam Adebayo at the 5 for specifically that reason.
And in that second unit that Steve Kerr runs out there, he's got Anthony Davis playing the 4 and Bam Adebayo playing the 5. When Kawhi Leonard had to be replaced, and we were all so surprised that that Kawhi couldn't stay healthy for this. Were you surprised that Derek White was the add and not Jaylen Brown?
No, because I understand why everybody's like, go get the Finals MVP.
Right.
But you need those guys that are just willing, that just don't know how to do anything but grind. You always need those guys. You don't need the stars all the time because the stars are not going to be willing to grind on their summer vacation, nor do I blame them. This is like, unfortunately, we have to look at Team USA in portions as the summer job. How many of them, like, that's the summer side job. That's how they get their run in. That's how they get better for the actual NBA season. Give me the guy that doesn't know how to do anything else but grind and be a key cog. And, oh, by the way, not worry about his minutes. He's going to be grateful that he's just there.
See, that was the key for me. It was you added somebody that didn't have to play.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown needs to play. He's not a guy who's going to sit on the bench. He's a 40-minute-a-night guy. Not that Derek White doesn't play a lot, because he does, and he's a key member of that team. But if Derek White didn't get a minute off the bench against South Sudan, then I don't think you have a problem.
Yeah, he's not complaining about why'd you bring me out here.
Right.
Like, again, I love Jaylen Brown. I understand the need to bring Jaylen Brown. But at the same point, give me the guy that already knows his role, that's going to understand his role, and more importantly, has been practicing with this team. I like Jaylen Brown. He really does. You'd be plopping him into a situation that he's unfamiliar with, and then you're asking him to play catch-up. And, oh, yeah, he's probably not going to get the minutes necessary to do all that catch-up work as is.
Kanata Edwards, not a describe on Twitter, works with Gary Parrish and Matt Norlander on the Iron College Basketball Podcast. I don't know how much they have been talking about it, but thoughts on Cooper Flagg?
I can't wait for the season to get started because I think this is probably the most interesting season that we've had, at least since I've been with CBS, because you have Cooper Flagg, who is an actual generational talent. You have this Duke team, which is probably the most interesting in the Shire era because they should be a top 5 team. They should be ranked in the top 5 when we get started in October, November. The key is, are they going to be able to put all this together because they're scheduled tough? I I love what Cooper Flagg is going to be. I'm not going to be one of those that's going to say he's going to average 19 and 10, and 19 and 11, be the best generational player. But he's the type of guy that he's going to put in buckets. He's going to let you know about it. This may be the closest thing that we have to Christian Laettner in 2024. Ooh. And you know what? Like, that's the kind of guy that this sport needs right now, because we don't have one of those guys that, like, can generate the animosity, and you can't do anything with him about that. So I'm looking forward to this. And if you're not looking forward to it, I need you to check your pulse to make sure that you're still alive.
Or you're an anti-Duke fan, which, I mean, that's fine. I mean, you can root for and root against whoever you want. But yeah,
if you love the sport. But the thing is, Adam, if you love the sport of college basketball, you can't help but be excited, because you know what? College basketball might have its first villain in quite a while, and there's nothing better than that.
Since Grayson Allen.
Well, yeah, except Cooper's actually good. Cooper's generational.
Well, okay, Grayson Allen was certainly not generational, but he was a good player. He was a very good player. All right, let me ask you this: the Hornets off season. Miles Bridges back. It's not a crazy contract. It's not one of those $40 million deals, because this is what the NBA is now. The $25 million annual contract is just kind of mid-level. And we're going to see when the new monies finally hit, we're going to see like max deals go over $100,000 a year.
Easy, yeah.
All right, so tell me what you think of what the Hornets have done.
The Hornets have put themselves in a position to figure out exactly who is going to be about this new culture and who's not going to be about this new culture. You're gonna. A lot of people are probably asking, why have they brought back the majority of a 21-win team? This is when I would point out that LaMelo Ball played 20-something games. Mark Williams played less than 20 games. Brandon Miller, you just now figured it out. And then at the same point, you're bringing in Charles Lee, who, granted, it's not much, but coached the Hornet Summer League team, featuring mostly guys who will not scratch the rotation, and went undefeated, and players showed an interest in playing defense, which has not really been seen in this town, quite literally, since Steve Clifford's first regime. So This is about figuring out, quite literally, if they are like us or if they're not like us, and then they're going to start getting people off the island like Survivor. So that Miles Bridges contract, quite literally, is one of those where, well, again, it's 25. It's not going to be that big a deal if they figure out, okay, he doesn't fit or he does fit, and then they can move on to him, similar to what they did with P.J. Washington last year. A lot of this is going to be stress test, and we're going to figure it out. If they perform well, they stay healthy, they have 20, 25 wins by January, then they're going to see if they can move some of those contracts to get better and further get the culture to come together. If they only have 10, 15 wins, then they're going to start getting the people that they don't see as a part of the future out. So a lot of this is a funhouse mirror. It just depends on how you choose to look at this roster going forward.
Final thing for Kanata Edwards, CBS Sports, at Nada the Scribe on Twitter. There have all of the Uruguay, I guess they're still there, have all the Colombian fans left Charlotte. What was that like Wednesday night? I mean, it had to be, it was a great scene. I joked it was the most fun that people have had inside of Bank of America Stadium in 5 years. So,
longer, much longer.
Is it much longer? It is kind of longer. It's like 7 years, 8 years. Yeah, my fault.
Yeah, I would go closer to 8.
Well, 18. I mean, it was fun until the Steelers game.
Fair.
It's like 7 years. So is the city back together? What's going on?
The city is back together. I do think, for my experience, it was one of the most culturally diverse scenes that I think we'll ever see in Charlotte. And it is the closest. I believe that was a great scene. Unfortunately, the fight afterwards where we have Darwin Nunez basically acting like Riley Cooper Like, we have all of that going on, and like that ugly scene notwithstanding, but also that's Copa going Copa.
That
if
is.
you know anything about the Copa. But once we get past that fight, and I think we're going to be able to get past that fight, I think that was a great scene for like professional soccer in Charlotte.
Yep.
I think it was a great scene. I think as long as we don't bite down on the fight, I think it's going to be awesome, and we're going to continue to see games here. And building out a professional soccer culture is not easy, especially when you're talking about Charlotte, North Carolina. But they made some great steps. Charlotte FC has done some really, really good work in terms of that. It's one of the few David Tepper projects that I actually feel kind of optimistic about, which is strange for me to feel.
There were no restaurants that had like automatic gratuities included.
No,
in the
they
bills.
didn't CIAA this.
They
Nope,
didn't?
nope.
Okay, I'm just curious.
They didn't CIAA this one. No. That's how you know this was serious.
I appreciate you getting that right away. My friend, I appreciate your time, Kanata. Kanata Edward.
Absolutely.
I never call you Kanata. I always call you Nada because that's what you are. At Nada the Scribe. All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Absolutely. See you at ACC kickoff.
Absolutely. Gosh, that's next week. Is it next week? No, 2 weeks.
A week and a half.
Week and a half. Oh, my gosh. All right, man. I'll see you there. Peace.
Talk to you then.
All right, man. Yes, that happened during the CIAA tournament when the CIAA moved from Raleigh to Charlotte. We happened to be down there I'm trying to remember why we were down there. I don't think we were covering the CIAA. But, yes, there were restaurants that it actually had, I think there was a story that they were sneaking gratuities onto checks. Fun. CIAA surcharge is what they called it. Thank you very much. We knew what you were doing. All right, we'll take a break. We'll stretch. We'll come back. We'll place bets. We have updates to give you from across the pond. If you want a Scottish Open update, Ludwig Åberg is in the lead. There's your update. We'll stretch and place bets next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And even as the playoffs wind down in basketball and hockey, there's still stuff worth wagering on if you are so inclined. And FanDuel wants to give you incentive to just keep a little skin in the game. Open up the app and enjoy all summer long. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There is something for everyone every day all summer long. Go to FanDuel.com/AGS, FanDuel.com/AGS, and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 21 or older and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Wager requirements apply. Bonuses awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets or profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including bonus expiration. See terms and conditions at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
AARP wants your health, wealth, and happiness to live as long as you do. Join us each week for AARP Without Limits when we meet the people in our state who can provide you with a bit of lift or inspiration to live your happiest life at 50 plus. Learn more about this topic and others each week on AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
From the mountains to the coast, there is tremendous pride in North Carolina agriculture. NC Forever Farms is a program recognizing family farms that are protecting precious working lands vital to the future of agriculture. Through permanent agricultural conservation easements, these NC Forever Farms will always be protected from development. Learn more about preserving family farms through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services by visiting ncadfp.org. NCAA.org.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. They are here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4VICTIMS.
Turning 65 soon, navigating Medicare can be overwhelming and confusing, but you're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help. SHIP counselors can help you understand Medicare benefits to make your best choices. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Trust ACT Construction Equipment and Avant Articulated Loaders for the right equipment to help get your work done. Avant makes the most multifunctional loaders in the world. Whether you're a landscaping pro or homeowner serious about property maintenance, you need an Avant loader. ACT Construction Equipment is your authorized Avant dealer for sales, service, part, and rentals. Visit one of our 7 locations or actce.com for more details about Avant Articulated Loaders. ACT Construction Equipment, always the right equipment for the job.
From the mountains to the coast, 2.5 million North Carolinians are members of an electric cooperative. Every day, this network of 26 electric co-ops is working together with local members like you to power a brighter future through innovative energy technologies, community support, and enhanced grid reliability. Learn more about our brighter future vision at ncelectriccooperatives.com. North Carolina's electric cooperatives, powering a brighter future.
This is Adam Gold.
Subway Series, Game 2. Mets, Yankees should be fun. Good luck to the Yankees, not at all. The Mets are underdogs at home, plus 110. No respect at all for the team that is playing the best baseball in the month of June.
How McRude.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold, Victoria, producing the program. We are going to place bets in just a little bit. And we'll get back. We'll have Wall of Sound, top of the hour. We have a roundtable coming up with Josh Graham, who's going to be at the Orioles-Yankees game tonight in Baltimore. And
I can tell him how excited I am that my team swept his team.
Maybe I'll let you start.
Okay.
See if Josh stays on the line.
Love you. I know, right? Love you, mean it. But how about them Cubbies?
Shh, don't tell him.
I know. It's ruined now.
And Randy Slack will also join us. I think is he a Reds fan? I know he's a Bengals fan. I don't know if he's also a Reds fan.
Maybe.
They have one of the best players in baseball in Ellie De La Cruz. He's just absolutely dynamite. Said he was learning Japanese so he could talk to Shohei Ohtani.
That is a tough language and high expectations.
Yes. He says, I know a little.
Ohtani's a little busy, too.
Right. And keep, well, I don't know if it makes it easier or not. He's Spanish. He's not, he speaks Spanish. He doesn't speak English. I guess he speaks better English maybe than I do. All right. And Randy Slack, of course, will join us. So we have that. Plus, we'll talk a little golf at the bottom of the next hour. But right now, it's time to stretch.
And I know that you can hear us all across North Carolina, but if you are local to the Raleigh area, we are in like a flash flood warning right now.
It's
like
dark out.
Super dark
it's
outside.
It's nighttime.
So just in case anyone in the area, I mean, it may be a statewide thing, but yeah, be careful. It's until like 3:15. I felt like that was a good PSA.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Yes.
Just in case my phone is like going crazy back here with all these alerts. Anyway, one thing that we should be careful of, maybe not today because it's not a bajillion degrees outside, but these pups, you have to be careful because certain breeds are, more susceptible to getting heat stroke in the summer, not just us when we feel like we're going to pass out. So this is according to a chief veterinarian at Petco. I don't know why at Petco. I don't know why I find that funny. But it is a vet, so, it's legit. And they say dogs with flat faces.
Okay.
That's not good.
Right.
It's harder for them to breathe.
Breathing issues, yes, absolutely.
This is for my Biff.
Bulldogs,
long hair.
pugs, right?
Yeah. Long hair dogs. So it's like wearing a sweater. He hates the summer, let me tell you.
Right.
He's ready for fall. Also, young and old dogs. So I guess the teens are okay, but the little puppies and the older vintage doggies.
Vintage.
Those ones don't want to hurt their feelings.
I like that.
And then also the overweight ones who just love their snacks a little too much, which is fine. We love them all. So they basically narrowed them down to like bulldogs, boxers, pugs, Boston Terriers, Chow Chows, Huskies, and golden retrievers. You know, all those kinds. So just be careful. And then top signs are panting, drooling, which I feel like is a regular thing, deep breathing. And looking disoriented, so who knows? But
how do you tell?
That's a good question.
How do you tell the dog looks disoriented?
Why do you look so confused right now? Are you just hungry?
That's just the dog.
It's every day. I don't know. That's
Like,
just a regular thing.
Earl looks like, how are you eating that and you're not giving that to me?
Right. How rude.
How is that even a possibility?
It's so
He looks at
rude.
it, and then he looks at you.
Yeah.
And then he looks back at it, and then he looks at you like, what is wrong with you?
Excuse me, I'm down here. Or for Earl, I mean, he'd probably be up here.
He's not down there.
Yeah, he's a very large dog. So just be careful when you take the dogs out. Maybe not so much today because it's not, brutal. But there you go. Also be careful if you decide to either take your car to this dealership or work at a dealership and do this. I wouldn't recommend it, but in Connecticut, there are a couple people who are in some deep stuff because they decided to do like a Ferris Bueller's Day Off type thing. So someone had a very rare Camaro that they decided to take to this dealership. It is a 2018 Chevy Camaro that is worth about $97,000. And these two individuals took it out on a joyride.
Yeah, that happened at the parking garage in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes, exactly. So this Camaro only had 989 miles on it. The owner took it to the dealership for some kind of service and said explicitly, do not let this car leave the lot. Well, a service advisor and another employee took the car out, floored it, going 90 miles per hour, lost control, and then went into a guardrail.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, now it's a complete loss. They totaled it, and, the dealership is in some stuff. So, and, of course, the owner is going to take them to court. So now it's going to be an even more
You wouldn't have to, if that was my dealership, you wouldn't have to take me to court. You would be cut a check for, I mean, you can't go to court for that.
Right.
You just have, that has to be settled way before you get to court.
Right.
Nobody can know about this.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you'll be done. And funny you should say checks because it's the end of an era. At least at Target anyway. Maybe not other places, but you can no longer write checks at Target. So as of this coming Monday, they're saying no to the paper checks. If people still write them. I don't know.
I can't remember.
I mean, I know they're still out there, but I don't know how many, like 1 in 850 people use them.
Who's paying by check at any stores now?
But if you do, don't go to Target.
That's why people have debit cards.
Yes. Or credit cards.
No, but a debit card is the same, right?
Yeah.
It comes out of your, I guess it could come out of savings, but essentially it's coming directly out of your bank account, which is what the check is supposed to do.
And we've all had that feeling when you're behind someone who's about to write a check, like they break the book out with the pen, and you're like, oh, no, I'm not going anywhere for 20 minutes now.
What are we doing?
I know. Is it 1983? Why are we doing this? So, don't go to Target with your checkbook because they'll look at you funny and tell you to get out. They may not.
I thought they were getting rid of the Target, the red and white Target.
Oh, no.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that.
They're keeping that. You know what we should also keep? Good bets.
I hope so.
Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me.
I owe you
Okay, so yesterday I made 2 wagers. They were both horrible.
Oh, no.
Paul Skenes would give up runs in the first inning. He did not. He pitched 7 innings of no-hit ball. And that the Orioles would win and Anthony Santander would hit a home run. I don't think either happened. I know the Orioles did not win because the Cubs did. They played the Cubs.
Let's go,
So
Cubs.
0 for 2. I'm glad you didn't take my advice. If you did, I apologize. But they all had great value, so they weren't supposed to win anyway.
Right. Well, there you go. And it was fake units, so
Yes,
you're
it
good.
was for me.
You're good. Well, we have punch and fight this weekend.
Excellent. Let's
Like,
go.
not on the soccer field, maybe on the soccer field, but actual legit organized violence is happening with UFC Denver. And so the first one, let's go Drew Dober and Gene Silva. You know what? Give me Drew to win because he's awesome at knockouts, and that is plus 195. It's a pick 'em right now, but give me him by knockout plus 195.
All right, you want to finish off the card?
I can do my next one. So Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez. That's the main event. Rose Namajunas, I mean, she's not old school Rose, but I think she's going to come out and probably win this, and she always does it by decision. She'll dance around the octagon. So Rose by the points plus 115.
Do they have, like, fighters that, like, are almost Floyd Mayweather-ish?
Oh, yeah. Well,
Really?
especially, like, Anderson Silva used to be like that, who would just dance around. I mean, he was also very good, but he would do that kind of showboaty stuff, too.
No, but just, like, win on defense.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of those.
God, who wants to watch that?
It's boring. People boo a lot.
Yeah, I can't stand watching Floyd Mayweather fight. Hate him.
Yeah.
Because I want Floyd Mayweather to get beat up.
I know, right?
All right, never mind.
Exactly.
That's a personal thought.
Yeah. So, and this, my last one is a complete guess. Montel Jackson versus Damon Blackshear. Give me Blackshear just because I like him. To win outright, he's an underdog plus 120.
All right, here we go. Wimbledon women's final tomorrow. Jasmine Paolini. She will win. The Italian. She is fun to watch. It's not a huge number, plus 115. Give me a draw. Somebody's going to win the European Championship, but I believe Spain and England are going to go into extra time. We might see penalties again. So give me a draw in England-Spain. By the way, a Spanish team in either the European Championships or a World Cup, a Spanish-speaking team, so to speak, has never lost to a non-Spanish speaking team. I saw that stat. I'm like, how is that even possible?
I know.
But apparently it is.
And who finds these stats?
I don't know. I think it's 22-0 or something silly like that. And give me Lautaro Martinez, anytime goal scorer at the Copa America final. Lautaro Martinez for Argentina. I'm rooting hard for Colombia because I have Colombia at plus 1,200 to win it all. I had that a while ago. So this is like 4 weeks ago where I had that.
That'd be
I've been
fun if it
sitting
actually
on that.
panned out.
It would be amazing. But Lautaro Martinez, anytime goal scorer for Argentina. I think that's going to be a great match. We got both of them on Sunday, by the way. You've got Spain, England at like 2, and then 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock for Argentina, Colombia. Wall of Sound coming up. Then the Roundtable should be a blast next hour.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here, and I would like to make your life better, and here's what I am suggesting. If you are a contact lens wearer or you wear glasses, let's get rid of both. Travers LASIK and Dr. Lori Travers, they changed my life about a dozen years ago. I was a contact lens wearer, got rid of them, and went to Travers LASIK, the only LASIK specialist in the Triangle, and Dr. Lori changed my life. 5 minutes per eye, totally painless, went back to work the very next next day. That might be a selling point for you. Maybe it won't be for others. Either way, lie. Take the rest of the week off. But Travers LASIK got me out of contact lenses forever. No more solutions, no more glasses, no more prescription sunglasses. And did I mention it's painless? That's right. Also, 0% financing for 24 months is available. And I'm throwing in $1,000 off. Travers LASIK, Dr. Lori Travers. The consultation is free. 919-510-6830 or traverslasik.com.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Jerry Jones would walk away happy if they won a Super Bowl. But is that really his marker of success? Is hoisting the Lombardi Trophy really what Jerry Jones views as a successful season? Or is it his profit margin year to year? I don't know if he's really viewing it as I need to make sure to lock up XYZ players in order for us to be in the best position to compete for a Super Bowl.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
New $80 million cash blowout and triple red sevens mean new winners. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds winning range from 1 in 4.28 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please. Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Every second counts in a poison emergency. That's why Poison Help is standing by 24/7 to provide free assistance in over 100 languages. Save Poison Help as a contact in your phone today. Poison Help. 1-800-222-1222.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Mike Norvell, yet another 20-player transfer class. Like 5 of them came from Alabama. And I expect at least 3 of them to be significant players. Roydale Williams at the running back position, Malik Benson at the wide receiver position, the whole Tuscaloosa South jokes that were going on in the early portal days. That is why DJU just needs to get in there and set those skill players up to be successful. They are not asking to all of a sudden see DJU take another step. The player who it was in a top 3 in his recruiting class with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. I don't believe anybody's ever gone to 3 ACC football kickoffs before as a player. And he went 2 years in a row. His first 2 years, I guess, at Clemson, he went. And then he spent the year, of course, last year in, Oregon State. And now he's back in the ACC at FSU, and he went, no. Been there, done that.
honestly, it's not as much fun as you think. Because it can't be. It can't possibly be. But, there's that's fine. Stay home. That's good. I hope Florida State has a great year. You know how I am about the ACC. I am Team ACC.
Yeah.
I want the league to do well. I want the league to prosper. I will root for all teams in the league. I am not one of those people who will root against Florida State at all. I honestly believe that, and maybe this is the dreamer in me, and I will admit that there is more so than most. There is a romantic sports fan in me that I would love things like this to simply work out. I don't know that it's going to work out. I want to believe it will. I want to believe that Florida State and Clemson will simply stay put until the entirety of the college football system disintegrates, because I think that's coming quickly. So why upset everything? I'm not just talking about the ACC. I'm just talking about you too. Why upset everything when this whole thing's probably going to blow up soon enough? And college football, I've always thought, well, not always. Shouldn't say always, because that's disingenuous. As the whole thing has evolved, I've thought that college football is ultimately going to separate from the rest of everything else. College football will look different, and maybe the rest of college sports will go back to looking like what it used to look like. Wouldn't that be interesting?
It would be.
Right? But I think that would be better, to be honest.
Sure, yeah.
Even for basketball to even go back to what it used to be.
For sure.
So I think that would be better for all parties included. If football, which is really ruining everything, I'm not knocking football, but it's ruining all the other aspects of college athletics. If football just went and did your top 40, top 50 teams, you guys just fight it out for national championships, whatever, in whatever style it's going to look like. None of us are really going to care that much as long as the games are being played. But the other elements of college sports, I think most, if not all of us, would like to see it kind of go back to what it was. We want the old college rivalries. We want that. That's the fun stuff of college football, college sports.
Yeah.
The football,
it's growing into a beast.
It definitely is. It's too much money for it to go back. Can't possibly go back. And the more money that's coming in, the more it's going to completely distort everything. So that's where I think we're headed, where football is a separate entity. And maybe we should take all the other sports and kind of, go back to the way it used to be. Football makes almost all of the money. And then the real money for basketball comes from the tournament, which is a national event. All right, let's get to a couple of things here in the Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, we're going to start with, I think, a broadcasting legend, the man himself, Charles Barkley. I don't know if, could Charles go into the Naismith Hall of Fame as a broadcaster?
Maybe.
Just for a second, process that for a second. Anyway, he was quoted as saying a few weeks ago, when it was reported that TNT was going to lose the NBA, broadcast rights to the NBA, to Amazon they're going to lose their broadcast rights to NBC, basically. Amazon is going to pick up a package, and that would leave TNT out. Unless the NBA creates a fourth package for them. I don't anticipate that. Maybe they could. But TNT does have right of first refusal. They can go and match another package if they want and maintain it. So they could take Amazon's package away if TNT wants to stay in it. But Barkley said that he would retire. He's not going to go work anywhere else. He was on CNBC talking about it.
Really a month ago that you were going to retire after next season no matter what happened. Was that firm? Were you joking? What's the real status of you in terms of broadcasting going forward?
Well, I really feel bad for everybody at TNT. All the people I've been working with for the last 24 years, they're like family to me. And I really hope we match. I honestly, in my heart, I think we have lost the package. That's my honest opinion. But I really hope we get a last-minute reprieve for the people at Turner. But the main reason I was talking about next year being in my last year, I wouldn't feel comfortable going to work for another network. It'll be 25 years that I've been working with Turner, and I love everybody at Turner. But at this age, to go over and start over, I don't know if I want to do that.
Is there a certain, we're not going to have a negotiation on television, but you know how these things work. I mean, it's no different than in any other business. People say they don't want to do something, and then they get a nice financial offer, and they change their mind. Is it in part, could financial reasons change your mind?
Hey, if I don't have enough money by now, I'm the biggest idiot fool in the world. And hey, seriously, if I don't have enough money by now, I've been so lucky and blessed. I played in the NBA for 15 years. I've been on television for 24 years. If I don't have enough money by now, I'm the biggest loser in the world.
So here's my hope. If when Barkley does show up again doing NBA broadcasts, whether it's a studio show like they have done at TNT or it's something else, I would hope we don't say, well, I thought you said you would never come back. Like, he just might enjoy doing it. And maybe that TNT crew gets regenerated somewhere else. Which, heck, if I were NBC, I would surely consider it. We could do an Inside the NBA. We have a network that we use for sports, USA. They do. That's where they will show a lot of Open Championship golf. That's where they show the Premier League. We could do that. And also, TNT still has hockey. Let's get Chuck. Let's get Chuck on the desk.
I love it. It's my fave.
Gretzky, Liam, Anson Carter.
Biz.
That's right. Absolutely.
Whether he's got that weird stash or a mullet or all of it.
Henrik Lundqvist and Charles Barkley all on the desk.
Oh, wow. What a team.
Get rid of Gretzky.
What a team. Yeah.
Get rid of Gretzky. Put Barkley in Gretzky's seat.
Yeah.
All right. One more thing. We're very close to the season where we're going to start talking about coaches on hot seats in the NFL. ESPN's morning show, Unsportsmanlike, beat us to it, and they were talking about NFL coaches, specifically Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys, and Chris Canty does not believe it is going to work out.
I don't think he can. I'm going to say he can't, and the reason why is the odds are against him. Think about this. The Dallas Cowboys have won 36 regular season games over the last 3 years. No team that has had that amount of winning in a 3-year span hasn't gotten to the conference championship game or better, and the Dallas Cowboys are that team. I look at this team as an organization that's poised to regress, and knowing that you have so many questions around the long-term future of your quarterback, of your head coach, of your number one wide receiver, of your best player, pass rusher Michael Parsons, I don't think that sets itself up for the Dallas Cowboys to be able to have success. I think there's going to be this ominous cloud that's looming over the regular season because all of the questions, and that undermines the head coach, and that's why I think that Jerry Jones is going to pivot in a different direction after 2024.
Well, I don't disagree with that. Of course, if they have a good season, they won't. Could Dallas have a good season? They could. We never know. Dallas is one of those teams. I wouldn't be completely surprised if they won 11 or 12 games. I wouldn't be completely surprised if they went 8-7. I just wouldn't. I don't think Dak is what some people think Dak is. I think Dak is a good quarterback, not a great quarterback, but I could be wrong. I think Philadelphia will be the most interesting team to watch in that coaching conversation because you go to the Super Bowl and almost win it a couple of years ago. And you have the year they had last year. They can't not be one of the best teams in the NFL and Nick Sirianni keep his job.
Yeah.
They have to be one of the best teams in the league. Remember, they didn't waste any time firing Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
2 years after winning the Super Bowl, maybe 3. I think it was the third year.
Yeah.
He got.
And a lot of people were saying bowl or bust last year for Nick.
Yeah. So he almost lost his job last year. Came very close.
I'm surprised Matt Eberflus still has a job, honestly.
It was only 1 year, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
I don't know. Like,
I think it's been a couple years, maybe.
Where is he? He's the coach
Chicago
of the Colts? Bears.
Mm-hmm.
He was he with the Colts at some point? All of those coaches they're all the same to me.
The tree.
Yeah, they're all. I don't even know. Are they on a tree? I have no idea.
Maybe.
So no clue. I know Andy Reid. It's the only coach I know.
Yeah,
all right.
he's
When we
great.
come back, it's the Roundtable Time. Josh Graham will be at Camden Yards in Baltimore. Actually, I don't know if he's in Camden Yards. He might be at Phillips. Might be at a seafood place. And Randy Slack. He's at a burger joint somewhere in Wilmington. They'll join us for the Roundtable next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
They're still making moves. What I want to decide is if it's busy just to stay busy, just like we're doing something about it. We know something has to happen, so we're working hard. You look in the ant farm, you want to see people walking in lines following each other, right? You want to see work being done. Or if this is actually how they plan on solving the issue.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. All right, everything for the exterior of your home. Do you have a favorite?
I have a favorite, yeah.
I want to hear
it. So windows, doors are my favorite products. The reason why is because we are the best at installing them. You know, there's 1,000 different types of windows on the market, doors on the market, different people installing them, different companies. I don't care how good a window you get. If it's not installed properly, it's not going to do you a bit of good. I always tell people, if you buy a submarine window, the best one in the world, and you have me put it on a submarine, you don't want to get in that submarine.
I don't want to get in the submarine either way.
I hear you. So anyway, so that's the thing I say. So it's really important that you have things installed properly. We've been around since 1961. We've got a 4.9 out of 5-star Google review ratings, over 800 reviews. Give us a call. We'll come out and give you a free no obligation estimate.
It's the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online at aluminumcompany.com.
What are you doing? Eating caviar. Yuck. Get this. Supreme 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have the best odds to win $400 with a $4 million top prize. So I'm learning to enjoy rich people stuff. Okay, let me try. Gross. What's next? Ballroom dancing. I'll lead.
New Supreme 7s. A shot at supreme riches. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bow time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
Ugh, kitchen ants, runaway roaches, a spider. A spider! A spider! Relax, just use Zevo. Zevo bug sprays use essential oils to eliminate those pests and up to 20 household insects. Plus, Zevo is safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Just spritz the bugs and wipe them away. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers are riders too, so we understand what your bike and gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and we don't get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
This is Adam Gold.
I had no idea John is a Cubs fan, too.
Yeah, I think that's a prerequisite to being the head coach at Duke. I made one comment about the Cubs to Mike Krzyzewski, goes back a while ago, talked about the pitching staff, and he goes, yeah, but I don't trust Victor Zambrano. Like, what?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Friday, we kind of goof off. We do a roundtable. We bring in two of our favorites, and we chat about things that, well, we probably chat about them anyway, but we chat about them in a group of three, as opposed to just maybe me talking about it or me bringing on just one person. And sometimes I leave the studio and go get a drink. So let's see what happens.
Camelot. It's only a model.
Oh, man, what a crew. Randy Slack, ESPN Wilmington, at rslack37. Josh Graham, Sports Hub Triad, at Josh Graham Radio. Josh is on location. Who's drinking? Josh is on location in Baltimore. I don't know where Randy is other than down at the beach somewhere, so maybe it's Randy who's drinking. Are one of you pouring a beer?
I am actually getting ready to take a nap because that's what I do as a morning radio host on the Friday. I'll get a little nap in after I do this segment, wake up about 4:30, and I'm good to go to have a fun Friday night. But I'm really not exciting right now.
All right, well, I won't tell anybody, Randy. And Josh Graham is in Baltimore getting ready for the Orioles and Yankees tonight. So let's start with baseball, shall we? Are you on the street?
No, I'm outside maybe the greatest restaurant to grab seafood on planet Earth, GW Restaurant. Just had a crab cake, and I'm ready to run on the field if somebody throws at Gunnar Henderson tonight. It might have been that guy honking at this light in front of me.
Well, you can run on the field if you're over at the European Football Championships, because apparently they were doing that on the regular with Ronaldo. But I think it was Ronaldo. They were taking pictures. Like just running on the field taking pictures. He handled it very well, but that was like a regular thing. Adults just running on the field with phones taking pictures. Like, people, control yourselves.
You got to do a backflip if you're going to run on the field like that guy at the Reds game. Like, that's what you got to do if you're going to do it at a baseball stadium now. You have to do some sort of acrobatics.
Or you do that in a Savannah Bananas game, and you get bonus points for tricks.
If I find love at the end of it, too, they won't even throw you in jail like the end of Fever Pitch. I think that's how that works.
Very good. That's a great movie reference that I didn't understand. All right, Josh, you're in Baltimore. You get ready to go to a baseball game. So Paul Skenes was named the National League starting pitcher for the All-Star team. Game, of course, a week from in less than a week on Tuesday. Over under 10 pitches for Paul Skenes.
I think he'll go over that just because he's probably going to pitch to Gunnar Henderson, who's going to see some pitches and probably have some success in the first inning. But really, this is just what you want if you're a baseball fan. You talk about 32 first-time All-Stars this year, and baseball that saw a 9% increase in attendance from 2022 to 2023, and the rule changes were met with great results and met with great approval ratings for baseball fans, which you don't always get.
We're talking about approval ratings for baseball? You know what kind of season we're in. Do we have exit polling?
No, I'm saying right now, though, that the All-Star game is for the fans.
It is.
And what they will approve of is seeing Paul Skenes throw, because that's the talk of baseball. And the fact in that first inning that you're referencing, he will probably throw to Gunnar Henderson and Bobby Witt Jr., who are the future, what is the future of the game.
And Aaron Judge probably too, yeah.
That's great, and I can't wait to watch it next Tuesday.
All right, but you missed the joke, Josh. The joke was about Paul Skenes being pulled with a no-hitter because he had thrown 99 pitches. So let me set you aside. Randy, you want to finish the joke? You're a comedian.
I don't really know what joke you're talking about other than the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're a joke. But honestly, like, look, you have to treat this guy with kid gloves. You gotta take care of him. Who cares about a no-hitter? This guy needs to throw for more than – he's going to get Tommy John surgery by the end of 2026.
Right, but it's not because he's thrown 99 pitches in 7 innings. It's because he throws 100 miles an hour. That's what leads to Tommy John.
You're going to tell him not to throw harder? You have to have him throw less because he's going to throw as hard as he can all the time?
No, baseball has made its decision, right? They have decided that velocity is the most important thing. That's all they draft. Nobody drafts a guy, oh, man, he's got a great curveball and changeup combination. Those guys get drafted in the 11th round. Guys who throw 100 get drafted in the first round.
Adam Gold, I feel badly. Can we try this again? Can you ask me?
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. I liked what you had to say anyway. Otherwise, I would have cut you off sooner. The thing about it,
you're the Pirates pitcher. You can cut me off.
So if they were truly concerned about his longevity, they would say, hey, it's great that you can throw 100, but how about throwing 94 most of the time? And then just bring out the real gas when you need it, because it's always throwing at max velocity and max effort that gets these guys hurt to begin with. There's no correlation between number of pitches thrown within reason. You don't want to throw 180. There's no correlation between pitches thrown and Tommy John surgery. In the long run, it is about shoulders, but it's not about elbows.
But it's you can't tell a guy to throw less hard, because he's going to tell the other guy on the pitching staff to throw not as hard as he can.
Or learn how to pitch better.
You want to be making as much money as you can. You're going to throw as hard. The only way they can control these guys is by stopping them from throwing is the pitch count. They can't make them throw less hard, because the guys are going to throw as hard as they can all the time now.
Right.
There's nothing we can do about it. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
baseball,
know how
the
we
sport,
fix that issue.
the sport has made its decision, and that was my overall point.
Or you could just tell Paul Skenes, pitch against every team as if they're Wake Forest in the College World Series. Just pitch that way, and he'll be fine.
So, look, there's no good answer to this, but I'll tell you what was a bad answer. Taking a guy out of a game when he's thrown 99 pitches after 7 no-hit innings when he had struck out 11. That's a bad answer.
Who cares? Who cares?
I do.
That's not.
What do you mean? Who cares? The fans care.
What fans? They don't have fans in Pittsburgh.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. But maybe they would if the team actually tried to entertain their fans by, putting a great product on the field every day and winning. That's a problem with management. You can't protect these guys. You just can't. It would be a stroke of good luck if Paul Skenes didn't have an elbow issue down the road, and it will have nothing to do with having thrown 125 pitches in a game as opposed to 99.
I thought we were supposed to have fun on this show. Why are we yelling at each other? I don't like this.
Oh, I am raising my voice. I shouldn't raise my voice. I have a microphone.
I'm sorry.
It's a very good point, Randy. All right, let me ask you this. You're the resident Cincinnati Bengals fan here. I am defending your quarterback because I think he is being taken out of context. I don't think Joe Burrow is advocating for an 18-game regular season. I think he is trying to say, well, if they're going to do it, and they are, then this is the way it should be done. If you're a fantasy football player, you like 18 games, a longer season.
Yeah, I mean, I like an 18-game schedule. I agree that if you are going to do it, you have to give these guys an extra bye week. And look, if we're going to do it, you need to talk about that kind of stuff. He's asked those questions. I'm sure everybody's thought about it. But, yeah, I don't think he's saying he won 18 games. hope Josh is okay.
I hope so.
Can we get a welfare check on Josh real quick?
Dude, it was a Pittsburgh Pirate fan listening to this conversation, letting me know
He's mad. He's mad.
By
He
the
wanted
way,
to see the no-hitter.
Permani's overrated. While we're making Pittsburgh people mad, Permani's overrated.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you, but the idea of French fries on a sandwich is excellent.
Honestly, the coleslaw is what sucks. That's the
Really?
thing that ruins the sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah, the coleslaw doesn't do it for me.
All right, that's fair. I'm not going to argue that. I mean, depending on the sandwich. We could just talk sandwiches the rest of the way. I don't even remember where we were. I hate the idea that we're going to have 18 games in an NFL season anyway. We don't need 17.
I hate all the midweek games. I hate that. Like, we need Sunday and a Monday, and that's it. Because the reason I like football is it's on one day a week. If it's on every day, I don't watch Major League Baseball because it's on every day. Who cares? If I miss it today, it's on tomorrow. I want the NFL on one time. That's it.
Yeah, but we've had Monday games since 1971.
Randy Black loves the Carolina Panthers schedule. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Brother, you're spot on, 100%. They're my favorite team. I'm so glad they play during the day. That's the best time to watch football.
To not even get a Thursday game. That is staggering. To not even get a Thursday game. A crap Thursday night game. Like Panthers, Falcons.
Jeff stopped paying for that. Jeff stopped paying for the Carolina Panthers, okay? He's not paying for Panthers Patriots.
That is absolutely amazing that they didn't even get a Thursday game. We've got Randy Slack and Josh Graham here on the Roundtable. I talk about this maybe too much. I will throw it to you, Josh. Too much being made of the U.S. men's national team and their loss in Copa America and this search for the next manager. Do you think enough people care?
No, especially in Pittsburgh. They don't care about sports, as we know and have discussed here.
They only care about French fries.
In Baltimore, that's a very popular take to say, by the way, about Pittsburgh fans. But yes, I do think too much is made out of it because I think soccer is a sport, as you know, where management is kind of overplayed. Like, it's an easy sport to make management the sacrificial lamb for problems that are a little bit more embedded. But I will say, hopefully, this does trigger a more aggressive style to American soccer that we haven't seen in past World Cups, like the United States being known for being its foundation being rooted in defensive play and having great goaltending from Casey Keller or Tim Howard. Like, the United States has forces now to play a more aggressive style. And if Greg Berhalter's exit is going to lead itself to anything, I think it's going to be a more aggressive chance-taking style for the 2026 World Cup.
So the management does matter because you just said a different style, which would be put forth by the manager.
But I don't think the style was. I don't think it harkened itself.
Our style was boring. Our style was in soccer. By the way, it's goalkeeping, not goaltending, and it's too pragmatic. That's what we say. Too pragmatic. It's too. Greg Berhalter was risk averse. I'm not sure we have good enough players to really implement a more aggressive style. We might get our rear ends beat, but if you were more fun and got yourself beat, might be better. Randy, down there in Wilmington, what is it? Hammerhead country? What's the Wilmington club called down there?
There was the Hammerheads. I mean, our biggest thing now, the high school sports, the high school teams down here are good. UNCW, shout out to Coach Heaney. They have a great program down here. Look, Greg Berhalter sucks. He's never been good. We hired a guy to run the American team. They got fired from the second level of Sweden because he wasn't attacking enough. He wasn't good enough for the second level of Sweden. He was a mid-level MLS coach. We deserve better. We're American, dude. Like, we should be doing a lot better than Greg Berhalter as our coach. I don't know who it is. I don't know how you hire a coach, but it's got to be better than that guy.
I love
That's the piece. That's the most American piece right there, where it's like, I don't know how And I'm like, okay, can the American Soccer Federation afford to get the coach that's better than Greg Berhalter? Or does Greg Berhalter match the level of care that the Federation and in turn soccer fans, warrant in the United States? That's the piece of, I don't know if our Federation has what it takes to fire Greg Berhalter, pay him to leave, and then hire such a considerable replacement that will satisfy those who led to the firing in the first place.
Here's what we're going to find out, and we'll wrap it up here. We're going to find out that we have a lot of very good players and maybe only one or two that are truly difference makers, and you need about 9 difference makers to really have an impact on a World Cup. And where the Americans, unfortunately, we fall way short of that. Christian Pulisic is a great player, but the fact that he is head and shoulders our best, that's probably a bad sign for the near-term future of U.S. soccer. I love Pulisic, but we got to have players who are at his equal or better for us to make an impact on a World Cup. Randy Slack at rslack37, ESPN Wilmington. He's going to take a nap. Josh Graham, Sports Hub Triad at Josh Graham Radio. He is going to run out into the field if any Yankee pitcher takes a throw at Gunnar Henderson. I hope, Josh, you stay out of jail, and I hope, Randy, you get up and have a good night tonight down at the beach.
I'm going to watch Greg Berhalter attacking highlights, and it's going to put me to sleep in no time.
Perfect.
He could take my hands. He could take my heart. He could take my leg. Gunnar Henderson can have whatever he wants.
Very nice. Very nice. Josh Graham pledging himself to Gunnar Henderson. All right, gentlemen, we'll do it again.
Yeah.
All
Thanks,
right.
Adam.
Fun for me. Like what it's about. I've told you this many, many times. This show, if I'm having a good time, I hope you are. All right, when we come back, we'll get some thoughts from a good friend about the Open Championship coming up next week and the star that is back in play next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
AARP wants your health, wealth, and happiness to live as long as you do. Join us each week for AARP Without Limits when we meet the people in our state who can provide you with a bit of lift or inspiration to live your happiest life at 50 plus. Learn more about this topic and others each week on AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
From the mountains to the coast, there is tremendous pride in North Carolina agriculture. NC Forever Farms is a program recognizing family farms that are protecting precious working lands vital to the future of agriculture. Through permanent agricultural conservation easements, these NC Forever Farms will always be protected from development. Learn more about preserving family farms through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services by visiting ncadfp.org.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. They are here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4victims. Are you taking care of someone on Medicare? Navigating Medicare can be overwhelming. You're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help you figure out what steps to take and when. SHIP counselors can answer your questions. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
From the mountains to the coast, 2.5 million North Carolinians are members of an electric cooperative. Every day, this network of 26 electric co-ops is working together with local members like you to power a brighter future through innovative energy technologies, community support, and enhanced grid reliability. Learn more about our brighter future vision at ncelectriccooperatives.com. North Carolina's electric cooperatives, powering a brighter future.
You wouldn't ask your mechanic to help stage your property for an open house.
As NC Realtors, we're experts who make buying or selling property easier for you. Using the latest technology and armed with local insights, our Realtors help you find properties you would want to call home. We also know which details make your property more attractive to other buyers. From start to finish, our Realtors know. Find out more at ncrealtorsknow.com.
Trust ACT Construction Equipment and Avant Articulated Loaders for the right equipment to help get your work done. Avant makes the most multifunctional loaders in the world. Whether you're a landscaping pro or homeowner serious about property maintenance, you need an Avant loader. ACT Construction Equipment is your authorized Avant dealer for sales, service, part, and rentals. Visit one of our 7 locations or actce.com for more details about Avant Articulated Loaders. ACT Construction Equipment. Always the right equipment for the job.
Have you ever noticed how little things can make a big difference? Letting someone with an item or two check out in front of you, especially when you have a cart full. By the way, it doesn't take any time to smile at a grumpy checkout clerk. Maybe they've been working a long shift. It takes so little time, but it works wonders. In North Carolina, we have always taken pride in being kind to everybody. Little things do make a difference. Makes you feel better. Makes everyone around you feel better.
Are you a veteran looking to make a career change? The Department of Labor is offering no-cost employment workshops to help you. Visit DOL.gov, paid for by U.S. Department of Labor.
This is Adam Gold.
He said he could talk about his golf game. He did say it wasn't great, and I said, hey, no judgment here. I'm a drive shacker and a putt-putter myself.
None of us are good. Even those of us that are good aren't really good.
Right, yeah.
We're just not.
Yeah.
The Adam Gold Show.
I don't know how many times a week when I'm driving in and on the starter on Sirius XM Radio, Taylor Zarzer, I would give you his Twitter, but he doesn't even have one. We have talked to people who have a Twitter but never tweet. You don't even have a Twitter account. Bless you, sir. That means you have a lot more free time.
There's just nothing about it that I ever enjoyed when I had it. I haven't had it for 10 years at least. And it's just, it doesn't seem like anyone, when they close the app, has had a good experience with it. Like they close it and they just shake their head. I will say I have Instagram.
Okay.
That doesn't seem as poisonous. You know, there's not as many comments. It's just pictures. And I really only have it just to see like the people I love in my life, to see what good. Their kid is at the beach. That's great. I don't have to call them and ask them about their kid being at the beach. I just see that their kid's at the beach. But I try to limit the things that bring me pain in my life as best I can.
That is, for me, that would be golf, but I can't do that. All right, let's talk a little bit about Rory McIlroy, who's off to a good start trying to defend his title at the Scottish Open. And let's just roll back a few weeks. The fact that he peeled rubber out of Pinehurst after, honestly, as much as I thought Bryson DeChambeau was probably the best player all week, I thought Bryson won at the expense. I thought Rory lost the Open more than Bryson won it because Rory had it, and he gave it away in the last couple of holes. With that said, it wasn't Rory's best moment. He's usually much more magnanimous than that, no?
Yeah, I would say this, AG. I don't have any problem with him not talking to Damon Hack or to me. Those are the people he was supposed to talk to when the round was over.
Right.
We've done probably close to 1,000, certainly hundreds of interviews with Rory McIlroy, and I'm sure we'll do more. And I don't have any problem with him not wanting to talk to us. Maybe in a perfect world, if he says, guys, I have nothing to say, then maybe that would have been what he said. But my only issue there is what you just referenced. I wish he would have shook Bryson DeChambeau's hand. And as pain and as heartbreaking and as devastating of a moment as that was for Rory, I think the most heartbreaking he's ever experienced. And there's a list, by the way. I really wish he would have just stayed there to shake Bryson's hand, and then he could have kept walking and not talked to Damon, me, or anyone else, which would have been totally fine. But I do have an issue with that, and honestly, I think Rory has an issue with that. His statement sort of suggested it. when he released it the next day. And I'll have a chance to walk with him in at least one practice round next week, and I'll confirm that. But I would bet that if he could do it over, he probably still would have not spoken to me. He probably would have talked to Bryce and DeChambeau and said congratulations.
Yeah, it's also been kind of it's been an all over the place time of his life, right? Before the PGA, he announces that he's filing for divorce. Then before the U.S. Open, there's a reconciliation. So, look, who knows what's going on in McIlroy's household? Hopefully everything is good, and Poppy is a growing, healthy young girl. But Rory, certainly his golf looks like it's back this week. Maybe he just he's needed those resets from time to time, hasn't he?
He has, and I think that was a smart move, and I think I agree with what you said. It has been a tumultuous year personally for him, and who knows how big of an impact that's had. I will tell you, I make a habit of walking with him in practice rounds, especially in major championships. It probably is my very favorite thing I get to do professionally. He is so wise beyond his years, and he always has a topic picked out for the two of us to discuss during some random hole in a practice round, and I gained so much from that. But he looked so exhausted when he arrived on Tuesday afternoon at Pinehurst, and it did not look like he had slept much. So the fact that he had a chance to win that tournament was remarkable, but still incredibly heartbreaking. But you're right, I think he needed a reset from golf for a few weeks, and he certainly got that. But I'll tell you, I think it's the story next week. I mean, I think we always have to put an asterisk next to Tiger Woods, assuming Tiger Woods isn't a factor next week. Then of all the most realistic options that we have, Rory McIlroy and how he plays next week, and if he has a chance to win a major championship for the first time in a decade, would probably be number one. Being around him as much as I have in the last few years, Adam, I can tell you that this guy has no fear, no concern, no nerves in regular golf tournaments. It's not that he's not trying to win them. He is trying them, and in many cases he does win them, including here in Charlotte earlier this year.
Yes.
But there's nothing to lose for him. If he doesn't win the tournament, it has no impact on his life. But you put him in a major championship, given the heartbreak he's had, especially the fact that he hasn't won one in the last 10 years, it's a completely different animal. And I know he's defending his title at the Scottish this week. It does not matter what happens in these next couple of days. It has no impact on his life. He wants to win the tournament, but if he doesn't, it has no impact on him. Next week has a significant impact on him. He desperately wants to win more major championships.
Taylor Zarzour is joining us here, SiriusXM, the starter and coverage all next week from the Open Championship. No Twitter to give you. You can go hashtag Taylor Zarzour on Twitter. I'm sure you could find comments because he's on with Gary Williams.
Send the tweets to Adam and he'll text them to me.
That would be fine. Final thing about Rory, because I've been saying this for a while about him. I think he's young enough. I mean, he's still in his mid-30s. If he wins one more major, I think he's going to rip off a bunch more. And I think he could get to double digits in majors if he wins one, but he's running out of time to really accumulate them, because once you start getting into your late 30s, early 40s, it becomes harder to repeat all of this. But he's still at the top of his game. If he wins one, and I've already said it, I picked him yesterday. He's my pick to win the Open Championship. If he wins this one, we could be looking at like a second Tiger run, obviously not on the same scale, but for Rory, but a second major championship burst.
Yeah, that's right. I think that you make good points there. Phil Mickelson, when he won the 2004 Masters, was 33.
Yeah.
So he didn't win majors. He ended up obviously winning 6 of them. He didn't win majors until he was 33. McIlroy, just a few weeks, or I guess here in Charlotte a few months ago, turned 35. So to your point, yeah, there's plenty of time for him to do that. But I think the longer this goes, the larger mental hurdle it becomes.
Mm-hmm.
And I would argue that he's not going to win the Masters unless he wins another major championship before that. That's where it really is a mental hurdle, is at Augusta National. He's won the other 3, but I do. I agree with you. I think the answer is either he's going to win no more majors or he's going to win a handful of more majors. I think it's one or the other. But the longer this drought goes, Adam, the harder it becomes, not only because of the mental hurdle, but because of the guys that are in their early 20s that are very quickly coming out there that are so fearless. And I think that you're going to see a number of 20-somethings winning major championships in the next decade. I think that those players are going to have a harder time winning championships in their 30s than they are in their 20s when they have no family, no other distractions, no fear, no scars, etc. Just kind of like Rory did when he was winning 4 major championships a decade ago. But your guy, Akshay Bhatia from the Triangle, I think is going to have a real chance to win majors in the next couple of years. So is Sahith Theegala. So is Ludwig Åberg. And I mean, Luke Clanton has almost won 3 different PGA Tour events as we're sitting here talking.
That's right.
And he's a sophomore at Florida State right now. I mean, these guys have there's no transition for them when they go from college to the pros, which is remarkable. That's never been the case before in the history of the game. I think a lot of that has to do with technological advances and them just being so better equipped to know where they're hitting it and how far they're hitting it. But because of those reasons, I think it's going to be increasingly more difficult for Rory to check off that next one. But to your point, if he does it, then I think a few more will follow.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he probably should have 4 more right now. Right. If he should have won the Open Championship a couple of years ago. Let me move on to one of those young players who is playing very well, by the way, at the Scottish, and that's Ludwig Åberg, who came out of Texas Tech, walked onto the PGA Tour, walked onto the Ryder Cup team. And he wasn't the most impressive Ryder Cup rookie because there were so many of them, including Nikolai Højbjerg. Højgaard, not Højberg. I just made him a soccer player. But he's a guy that could easily win at Troon. The last time we had an Open Championship at Troon, it was won by a Swede with a sweet swing, Henrik Stenson. So I think he's got to be among everybody's favorites.
Well, I mean, in his first ever Masters, he was right there and he finished second. In his first ever U.S. Open, he had the 36-hole lead and he was right there and finished in the top 10. So clearly, had playing in a first major championship, it gives him no pause whatsoever. Colin Morikawa won the Open in his first try 3 years ago. It would not surprise me at all if Åberg did that next week. He's one of the 5 best players in the game. His world ranking would suggest he's just outside the top 5, but there aren't 5 people that are better. If there's one thing that I could scrutinize with Åberg, Adam, it would be similar to what we've scrutinized with Victor Hovland, and that is his short game. But if there's one major that you can get away with somewhat of a deficient short game, I would pick the Open Championship because the greens aren't nearly as fast.
Right.
Typically, you can go low if you have to instead of always having to go high. But I never thought that I would see a better driver of the golf ball than Rory McIlroy. And I'm not sure that Åberg is necessarily a better driver, but it goes higher and it goes further, which is crazy to watch this guy. And the other thing I love about him is it takes him no time to hit his shots. He plays every shot through the entirety of the hole faster than anybody in the game, which is so refreshing. I'm a big fan of his. He's an awesome guy to be around. I love how you made Højgaard a soccer player.
I did.
Åberg, his name is, I guess, in Sweden, really pronounced Åberg. There's some weird sound you make at the end of the name. And I was walking with him at Riviera, and I said, we're not pronouncing your last name correctly. And the last few years you told us to call you Ludwig Åberg, and now we're calling you Ludwig Åberg. And he was like, listen, man, no one can pronounce my last name correctly. I don't want you to have to struggle. And he said, also, I think it's kind of cool how all the hockey players like Forsberg, they have a hard G at the end. I want a hard G too. I was like, okay, fine. Then here we go. So
Perfect.
We're calling him Ludwig Åberg, even if that's not really what we're supposed to say.
Yeah, I think with the little circle above the A, it just becomes an O. Why don't they just do an O? But that's fine. I don't need that. I can get it. I can get around it. Taylor Zarzour,
Safe trip over. We'll talk to you when you get back. Enjoy the Open. Who is your pick, by the way? I've already made mine. Do you have a pick yet?
I'm going with Morikawa. I know I mentioned him winning his first major 3 years ago. This guy has been all over the leaderboard throughout the entirety of the year. His putter is not his best instrument in his bag, but again, if there's one place you can get away with it, it's on slower greens. Give me Colin Morikawa to win his second Claret Jug.
Taylor Zarzer, no Twitter. Thank you very much, my man. I'll talk to you soon.
You got it, brother.
Morikawa was a good pick. He's been a threat basically at every major this year. I'm still going with my guy Rory, and we'll get your pick next week.
Okay, I'll think about it.
More research. And,
I'll think about it
and all of that. Speaking of golf, and I'm a huge major championship fan. That's when we get to the majors. That's when I get hyper focused on it. We tend to not do as much around the other events. Sauce Gardner, one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, is now inviting people to watch him and help him on YouTube. He's got a halfway decent golf game. So everybody's getting in. Everybody's part of this now. It's a golf game you can play forever. It's either that or pickleball.
Well, pickleball's popular.
Yeah, pickleball is popular. By the way, it looks like we're going to have a Novak Djokovic, Carlos Alcaraz Wimbledon final Sunday, which should be great. Djokovic played one fewer match because he had the walkover. Let's see if he can summon something against Alcaraz and win that. So next week, I'm here Monday and Tuesday, and then I have a Denver vacation for soccer.
Boo.
But we're okay, well, it's fine. I appreciate that. But we're not that far from cranking up college football.
I know.
Right? So there's a lot of college football things coming. The video game. Does the video game drop next Friday? Actually, I should have mentioned that with Josh, we did with Matt.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about with Matt Brown later on, just in a couple of weeks, probably middle of August. We're going to talk about just sports games in general.
Oh.
They're so different. I grew up as a kid. Now, I'm much older than almost everybody who's doing this, right? Who's talking, covering sports. I'm not like Bob, Ryan. But, I've been around a while. So my video game playing goes to like early Atari.
Oh, I love Atari.
Yeah, big fan.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the downhill skiing game.
Pac-Man, Galaga.
Yeah, I was a fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I even had a ColecoVision.
Oh, there you go.
We played Pong. There were actually 2 paddles and a goal, and they called it hockey.
There
Whatever.
you go.
So, but as a kid, I played those board sports games.
Yeah.
Stratomatic, for people who understand what I'm talking about. It was a dice-based game, statistically accurate. I played a different game than that, but same premise. And now these games are statistically accurate. Even though some people will argue about it. How is that guy a 92? For the Madden ratings or any of the EA Sports games. But it's more the visual than it is. But we're going to talk to Matt Brown in a couple of weeks about just the evolution of sports games and where we are today, because I think there is a lot of what I used to love that I might love about the video games apart from actually playing the video game.
We've come a long way from Duck Hunt. Did you ever play that?
I didn't play it.
Where
but
he laughs.
The Hurricanes did a storm surge, a Duck Hunt storm surge in year 1 of the Rod Brindamore era.
I love their
Hopefully
surges.
by the time we can convene again on Monday, we've got Hurricanes news-ish.
Good stuff, please.
We didn't have any hurricane stuff on Friday at all today? How did I do that? Victoria, thank you very much. I'm Adam Gold. We'll see everybody next week on The Adam Gold Show.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
They're still making moves. What I want to decide is if it's busy just to stay busy, just like we're doing something about it. We know something has to happen, so we're working hard. You look in the ant farm, you want to see people walking in lines following each other, right? You want to see work being done. Or if this is actually how they plan on solving the issue.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9